Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 120. We've moved from Hangouts. We've upgraded. This is now Evan with a stream deck and running things. So we've upgraded a bit.
Running off of Comcast internet, so we'll see how it works out.
I saw you playing around with the modem earlier. Were you upgrading?
A little bit, yeah, but it didn't play out. Somebody got the internet to work. Then when they got the voice to work, it killed the internet. So I just said, screw it, not today.
So okay, so you're working on upgrading your internet to is it higher upload and download?
No, it's Comcast, dude. It's just download. That's all.
Comcast they still offer they'll still at least offer halfway decent upload around here. I think I have like 40 or 50 up now. So it's gotten better. You know, it's not like a gigabit or something, but it's getting better. But you do need that new router or that new modem. Once you get that new modem, they can do it. Yep. They can switch you over. So, but yes, we have a new format here. Evan, you said the super chats and stuff should all show up on screen.
Super chats and donations,
like upgraded.
Yeah, super chats and donations under the person's name will appear at the bottom. We'll still read them off in the interims, and as well as subs and memberships will appear on the other side. Okay, that's good. Very cool. So it's good to see everyone will have their little messages and names and stuff pop up there, I guess, and all that. So that's cool. All right, very good. So this is episode 120. I have a nice little layout here I can look at now. So let me go around here. You guys just heard from Evans. Evan's with us tonight. Then we have our guest tonight is Rax. Rax, what's going on, man?
What's going on? Thank you guys for having me again.
Good to have you. Good to have you on board, man. Definitely. Sean's here with us. RTT, what's going on, man? You're back away from Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 finally.
That was crazy. I played that literally like 10 hours straight yesterday.
Dude, you blew through that game. Like you were telling me, you're like, I just played this game all day. Like literally all day you played.
That's all I did, man. It was good though. I enjoyed it.
I mean, that's how you that's how you know game's good. If you're playing it like from like, back in like the old days where you just spend an entire weekend playing a game. So it must be good. It must be good. OJ's with us tonight. What's going on, man?
Yeah, also playing Marvel myself. Actually gonna beat it. It's been a while since I beat it.
Gonna beat it. Has it? What was the last game you beat? Was it Torna?
Like an indie game. I can't think. I played like some indie games that I made.
And then but you play a lot of Smash. Like Smash really doesn't have an ending.
But I haven't even beat World of Light.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but you probably jumped online immediately and just started beating.
Yeah, I just jumped online immediately. I haven't even played World of Light.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, that's just for people offline to play and have fun with, I guess. I mean, that's like I played World of Light, but I wasn't looking to get into competition or anything, so I wasn't.
I play stuff like I play like the multiplayer games. I play like Mario Kart. I play like Splatoon. I play like everything's like multiplayer that we play. So that's all I've been playing is like multiplayer games, which is interesting.
Yeah,
it's the last like major RPG. But
yeah, but you're about to jump into Fire Emblem now, though. Dude, that's gonna take forever.
Fire Emblem's gonna be ASAP. That game's gonna multiple times. Yeah, Fire Emblem. Multiple,
I'll say, dude, one house is 80 hours, right?
Yeah, well, up to. I mean, I guess it can be depending on what you do. So yeah.
Man, that's gonna be something next week. And
let's do it.
it's looking good. It's looking good. Let's see. We got Nate, Direct Feed Games, the only one who doesn't have a video feed here. What's going on, Nate?
I am currently roasting in hell.
I was gonna say it's super hot on the East Coast in the Northeast region right now. It is like stupid hot. It was I think 100 degrees today.
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah, so it was not a fun day. It's still hot right now too outside, which is weird. When the sun goes down, it should get cooler.
Yeah, it's still like 90 right now.
How do you not have like a window unit or something?
I have a fan.
Why don't you just go get like a window unit and just drop it in the?
Dude, this window unit I have here, like it does all the rooms. Like it does my bedrooms and like you can even feel it a bit in the bathroom. Like it cranks.
I can't really do a window unit. I have a 3-story house and it's like 100 20 years old, so I would need like 5 window units just to cool the entire house.
Damn stories, bro.
Yeah. Just pick one room. Just pick one room. Make it like the cold room.
Or get the portable unit. That's what I had when my AC went out in my old place when I was living in North Carolina. It was just like, oh, I'll give you free rent, and I was like, okay. So I bought like a $300 portable unit, and whatever room I was in, I would just bring it into that room. And you just have to have a window. You stick the end of it out into a window, and it just works. Like it's not as good as a window unit or central AC, of course, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, is that the one that we moved and there was like definitely water in there, and I asked if you drained it? If you ever drained it, you're like, there's water in there. Then we have Jordan Fringe. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Glad to be here. I like the new format a lot.
Yeah, Evan's playing around with it, doing some things over there.
It's been my hard worker.
Doing some things over there. Then we got Max, Dreamcast guy. What's going on, Max?
Very, very happy and very sad because the Splatoon 2 final Splatfest is going on, and I'm upset about it. That's probably grown to be one of my favorite Switch games, and it's kind of going out with a bang.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They're finishing
earlier
up there.
today on stream too, man. It was a lot of fun.
The whole community showing up. Everybody's doing great art. A lot of people. It's really kind of a celebration, and I really like that it's going out in a nice way.
Probably the nicest community. Like for a big game, the nicest community ever. Like seriously, there's barely anything wrong that goes like between people. It's a great community.
And maybe they got to start working on Splatoon 3, man.
I know.
Gotta get work underway for that for the next Switch or something. 3-4 years from now.
They officially said something like yesterday where they were like, we're not currently working on Splatoon 3 was like what they said in some official statement. But I feel like now they are. I feel like that's a joke. Like, all right, last Splatfest is done. Everything's balanced.
Well, Animal Crossing's about to be out. So maybe they'll start because they were working on that. Maybe they'll shift over resources and get the early stages of Splatoon 3 going. I mean, it's pretty obvious there's going to be another one. So, next Switch, they'll have that maybe as a launch title. That'd be interesting.
Why do you think they're stopping like with the Splatfest, like the support for it for now?
They're very different from Diablo. I'm very into like Blizzard games, and even I think there's a lot of parallels between Diablo and Splatoon in that they're games that you pay up front and you just play them and play them and play them. And there is some DLC, but there's not like a monthly fee. There's a dedicated team at Blizzard that just creates updates and events and stuff for Diablo 3. I don't think Nintendo cares about that. I think Nintendo kind of went, all right, we made hundreds of millions of dollars off it. People did some great furry drawings. Peace.
Yeah, but I feel like the Splatfest is heavily tied into character progression, trying to get new gear together and stuff. Why not just leave them on random once a month, just to cycle back through the older ones for new people picking it up until 3 occurs? Like, it just seemed weird to me.
Like a good idea. I think that would be great if they just cycle through old ones. And then, I mean, like making new ones that takes more time and everything, but to actually cycle through old ones, I think that'd be cool.
Give me ketchup and mustard again. I chose wrong last time.
It's that's funny. Let me go through here. We got everyone introduced here. Let's go over to what we've been playing this week. What's everyone been up to? Because I know Sean's been playing Ultimate Alliance 3. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that game, Sean? Because I've played it some. OJ's played it. Max played it. You did a full review on it, Max. I don't know if anyone else played it as well.
I played it.
What do you think? What do you think about this, man?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 it's pretty dope, honestly. I was a fan of the older games like X-Men Legends and the other Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, and I just sort of jumped into it, and I just ended up playing it for like 10 hours straight and going through the story mode. I would definitely say segment of the game that definitely dragged on like way too long, and the graphics, they're not all that great. I wouldn't say they're necessarily bad, but I wouldn't say they're great. But it does a lot of good things. There's a lot of different characters to choose from. You get a lot of freedom with the characters as well. A lot of the characters feel very different than the other characters. You also have the Infinity stuff, which is like side missions that you unlock, and there's actually characters that you can only unlock by playing through the Infinity missions. The online seems to work well. So I mean, it's a pretty good package if you like, Diablo style hack and slash action adventure games, and you like Marvel stuff. I think it's a good package.
I have to quickly interject, Sean, because there was a ridiculous donation of $100 from TCG98. Which is a ton of money, obviously, to donate. But they said, hey, guys, very cool theme. And by the way, speaking about the hot weather here in Kuwait City, it's 130 degrees and sometimes goes to 135 degrees. So your hot weather is our winter. Have fun, guys. Yeah, but $100. Thank you, TCG98. Really appreciate that one. That is quite a bit of money to donate, and to appreciate it. I wanted to do some of the super chats and donations through Streamlabs and stuff around 9:30, so about 15 minutes from here. So we'll come back to them there, but I do have them in front of me. I want to let you guys know I do see them and everything, and it's actually a bit easier to track them here with this new layout. But thanks again to TCG98. I appreciate it. But Sean, you were saying Ultimate Alliance 3. I want to say about 5 or 6 hours in right now. I spent some time last night playing it and this morning, and I am enjoying it. I think it's cool that the way they introduce some of the characters too, where you have like these fun little subtitles on them and everything when they show them. And like Daredevil's intro was really, really cool in the beginning.
Such a show off.
I like Daredevil. Daredevil's cool. I'm playing as him like most of the way through. And then I guess Deadpool, obviously. Everyone's going to play as Deadpool, right? I think everyone is.
Spider-Man's. My Miles Morales Spider-Man for me is my tank. I give him all the good gems. I give him all the good points. He's a beast.
Go ahead.
Who?
I have a question, since you beat it as well. Did you switch characters periodically as you were going through it, or did you like get your main team and just play through it as one team?
Oh, I did switch characters. Because I'm not, really into like Marvel, like comics and movies and shit like that. Like I've never really watched many of them. I might actually go back and change that though, because I enjoyed so much. But I ended up I had Hulk in my lineup for a while, and then I switched him out when Deadpool came in. My final is Wolverine, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Deadpool. And like I felt like that was a good lineup for me. But I at the same time, I do wish that I had tried other characters. But I mean, I'm gonna still play the game and do the Infinity missions. You get an additional difficulty.
Which is pretty freaking tough, but it doesn't give you any good rewards. If you beat it on the toughest difficulty, you just unlock new costumes, and the costumes suck.
Well, they have a full expansion pass too, though. They're gonna add, I assume, characters and maybe missions for the characters.
They showed off the new ones coming, right? Like it was like the Punisher. I thought they had Ghost Rider in there.
Blade.
Yeah.
Blade's
Mobius,
pretty cool to have in
Mobius
there.
was a part of it, I think.
Mobius and somebody else as well. Cyclops and Colossus are coming on August 30th for free.
Nice.
It's weird because they already show up in the game and fight with you. So they clearly. So I don't know why they're not in the game.
That was really funny though, because they did get kind of exit stage lefted on us there. That was funny.
You basically just walk away like, all right, we saved the Xavier Mansion. Peace. One thing I will say is really weird about the game is it definitely feels like the more popular a character is, the stronger they are. Like when you're playing some of the more obscure people like Gwenpool or something, they're just so much weaker. I even think Black Widow was just a lot weaker than other people, or even Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is supposed to be the celestial god who's flying through space. Ass in that game. It's a little bit weird. Definitely the power levels are kind of like.
I do like that. I do like the sphere grid thing. I was worried that every character would have to be leveled up individually with stats and everything. And I like that they have like this big overarching like sphere grid thing that adds stats to all of your characters. So if you decide you want to play as a random character you haven't done much with, they might be lower level, but they'll still get all of those bonuses. So I actually like that part a lot, that it was it encourages you to play as other people whenever.
And it encourages you to explore a bunch, because there's those hidden upgrades in the maps where it's like, all right, you can finish this puzzle, but there's this extra box over here. So if you stay there and figure out like all the grid patterns a little bit longer, you'll actually get like this extra upgrades. You get a little bit further in the sphere grid. I like it. It's all cool.
Yeah, I think some of the puzzles are like, why would they actually be in this situation? But okay, it's a video game. Suspend some belief there, I guess. But yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm gonna keep playing it. And you, Sean, you said you're gonna go back through some of those Infinity things. Did you do any of those while you're playing through? Because I haven't done any of them yet. And they offer like some really good rewards, and I wonder if it would actually like overpower me a bit in the game. I don't know if you did any.
I only did like 2 actually playing the game, like, and then you can go back because they all unlock, and you can do, because there's not just one set of Infinity missions, there's actually 3 different sets. So you unlock more when you beat the game. But yeah, I didn't do many while I was actually playing through the story mode. I just after the fact.
Okay. Yeah, it's fun. I like seeing all the new characters that show up too. So I'm having a good time with it. How long was it? 10 hours, Sean? About that?
It's about 10 hours to do the story.
Okay, so I'm probably about halfway through that. Okay, that'll work. And I'll probably work on that a bit more. I did finish up Bloodstained as well. Yes, I did finish up Bloodstained, so that's done. I got to decide if I'm gonna actually 100% the map. I have like 98.5. I think I'm gonna get to like where I have like 0.2% left and not be able to find it or even care to look. But that's done. Beat that on the PS4, and then just Ultimate Alliance 3 mostly this week.
Anybody play Gears 5?
Yeah, I played some of that.
I figured you and Nate would play it, and I figured you guys would want to talk about it. I didn't play it because I downloaded it. I attempted to sign in, and it was like, you're in queue for 4 hours. And I was like,
yeah, there was a cheat. There was a cheat to kind of bypass that.
Okay.
If you searched and then backed out after a minute, and then you went to a King of the Hill match, you would get in pretty much right away.
Okay. I didn't care enough to try to do all that. I was like, it doesn't work. All right. I'll see what Nate and Max say, because I'm sure they'll be on that. So what do you guys think about it?
It's not bad. It has some good polish, like DLC. 100%, this feels like Gears of War 4.5, and that's what I was afraid of.
Okay. I was a little concerned about that too, to be honest.
There's a new mode. It's garbage. I do not like it. It's called Arcade, and you basically just start with machine guns, and by killing players, you get points, and then by using those points, you can buy randomized weapons. So the more points you save up before you buy it, you can get like a better sniper rifle or something. It is a really sloppy, weird system. I really do not like it. It just feels like so anti-Gears.
The problem with arcade mode is that it highlights how overpowered the Lancer is going into Gears 5 multiplayer, because you could just chainsaw and gun down people with ease before you're going to get the necessary amount of kills to purchase like a Gnasher or Torque Bow. And the weapons are all based on the character. So it'd be like Marcus can get a Gnasher and I'll say the Torque Bow, but then another character might be a burst shot and a sawed-off shotgun. So there's really no rhyme or reason to things. It's all like, oh, well, I want to play as this character. They have the best weapon. Or this is my favorite character, but their weapon selection is trash in arcade mode. So now what do I do? It's weird. I don't like the setup of arcade mode. It's not really tactical. It's just kind of like, oh, I finally got 5 kills. I bought a good weapon. Oh, I died. Well, now I'm going to restart and hopefully I get a good weapon again. And
so to Gears, and part of the thing with Gears is the tactics. You totally nailed it, Nate, is the strategy of like finding super weapons. It's like Halo, where it's like, okay, I know this item is coming back. I can work with my team. I can hold down all the power points. Arcade mode just destroys all that. It's so weird. And even the other modes, it's just not good.
Interesting.
Yeah, cause like I play Gears multiplayer to like, I'll say like on the mansion, everyone would rush towards the boom shot. And whoever got the boom shot controlled a little bit of that match. But while the other team might have been focused on the boom shot, another team was going for the long shot. So you balance out those 2 power weapons. Arcade mode is just Lancer galore until somebody gets 3 or 4 kills and finally buys some frag grenades, finally buys a power weapon. But then everyone's turning their sight to them because they have that key weapon. And it feels like it's unnecessarily complex when it could have been a better mode had they just left the core mechanics of Gears multiplayer intact and rewarded players in a different way of, oh, maybe I can buy, a shield or some sort of extra grenades that maybe didn't spawn on the map, something like that, or more powerful, like reloads, things like that. Not actually locking a Nasher behind 3 kills.
Well, and you totally highlighted the weirdest thing, which is when you get your upgraded guns, it literally spotlights you through walls on the map. So when you get your shotgun or your sniper rifle, there's a huge blinking icon of the gun above your head on your team and the enemy team. So as soon as anybody actually starts doing good, you're kind of punished for it. It's so weird.
It's interesting about this because this is going to come out closer to the end of the generation, right? It's gonna be a year before basically Scarlet comes out. Just about it with Gears of War, because they have to design it for the Xbox One VCR in mind, right? They gotta design it with that in mind as well. I wonder if, because Max, you said this feels like Gears of War 4.5, and I wonder if that's just because they have to design it for that Xbox One. Basically, if they had kind of just put this on the back shelf, worked on it more, and it ended up being a Scarlet exclusive type game, like, do you think that would have made it feel like more of a jump? Like, does it feel like it's being held to like Gears of War 4 almost? Or
no, I mean the game is snappy, 60 frames a second. It looks great
visually. Visually great.
It's just that the core gameplay isn't evolving in a way that feels innovative. It just feels like arcade mode is like, we have to do something new, and this is what we came up with, and it's just very. I'd rather just play Warzone. I want our execution mode. I want that core Gears of War experience, and arcade. It's just not that. Does it just feel like the overall game itself is getting stagnant right now? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's that it seems to just lack the charm of Gears 2 and 3. And now that we're getting further and further from that, it's the same way like you Spawn, the way you feel about Halo 3, where Halo 3 was so special to you that the further we get from that and the more Halos we get, the more you're just kind of like, oh, I can't reach it. Please bring it back.
That's why I'm happy to hear what they're doing in Infinite, where they're like going back to the drawing board. They're doing a whole new engine, like everything. They even skipped the year they would normally bring out Halo, and they're pushing it all the way back 2 years to when Scarlet's coming out. So I'm interested in Halo Infinite heavily because I'm hoping it's gonna, it's a big reboot. Honestly, 343 I think hurt that series, but that's fine. I'm waiting for Infinite. Infinite I think is gonna be good, but I was just curious about Gears of War. I mean, it's gonna be seemingly the last, I guess. I mean, is any other big game coming out after that outside of? I mean, Gears is like the last hurrah for the Xbox.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Microsoft's only hurrah for all of 2019.
That's true. I mean, they're not selling well. Like Xboxes aren't selling well, so I don't know if Gears is going to help sell that, because I feel like the PC community will latch on to that game, to be honest, heavily as well. So, I mean, Gears is a solid game. You're not buying an Xbox to play Gears at this point, and they need to reinvent the game a little bit going into the next gen to really make it that franchise that was exciting during the 360 generation. Like Gears 4 never really lived up to what Gears is all about. The campaign was mediocre. You were shooting robots instead of locusts. And I mean, we don't really know much about the Gears 5 campaign because for some reason Microsoft is very reluctant on showing that to us. I remember. Yeah, the campaign, that is weird. We haven't seen anything about it, but I remember the build up to Gears of War 2 was ridiculous back in the day on the 360. Then
Cliffy B ruined the multiplayer by making smoke grenades make you fall to your knee and drop down. And
I just remember the hype around that game leading up to it was immense. I just don't see that hype around Gears of War 5 right now, or Gears 5. Sorry.
To recapture that, because now we're in Gears 5, and then we've had Gears Judgment. There's been so many different games, so it's going to be impossible for them to recapture what they did back in the 360, because that was just look at the time HD, first HD era, so it's a completely different beast. Now we're looking at 8K or whatever, now we're looking at all sorts of stuff, so it's just you can't do the same thing.
The Gears evolution has been weird. Like Gears 1 was great. The multiplayer was something they basically said at the time that they tacked on, where they just took the core gameplay of the single player and they said, we'll make a multiplayer around it because we felt we needed more to the game. Then they really tried with the multiplayer of Gears 2, and they messed up a lot of the, real mechanics of there with the smoke grenades and stuff. They just they introduced horde mode. That was awesome. Gears 3 basically blended Gears 1 and 2 multiplayer and really perfected the weapon balance. Judgment messed up everything. Gears 4 multiplayer got back closer to what Gears 3 offered, and now Gears 5 is doing this weird arcade mode that everyone's going to abandon after the first 2 weeks after it launches.
It's yeah. I'm gonna be curious to see how that goes down with sales. I mean, it's gonna be on Game Pass, so you just download it. Be all right. I'll be all right there. Rax, what you been up to, man? What you been playing?
To be honest with you, I've been playing a whole lot of like Mario Maker still. So I've been doing like a lot of live streams of that. I'm really hooked on Dragon Quest Builders 2. That's the main reason why I actually didn't pick up Marvel Ultimate Alliance, because I'm still making my way through that. When I was checking out the Super 64 adapter, I've been playing a lot of 64. So that's really what I've been up to.
Yeah, I think everyone. A lot of us played the 64 this week. I know Sean did,
yeah.
I did, Jordan did. Max, you're probably gonna play a little bit of it soon.
I've been playing it, but not much.
What was the game everyone played for the Super 64? Was there any game that really made the Super 64 stand out to you?
I mean, the ones that I checked out was Rampage, just because I wanted something that had like the 3D render graphics. It was like side scrolling, something a little bit more quote unquote clean with the line work. Then I also tried Banjo-Tooie and classic Super Mario 64. So
I used the all the Pokemon games, and what I felt when I tried with Stadium, when I was going back and forth between slick mode, as I can see the buttons at the top, it smoothed it into a full circle, right? But when I did that, it took the black bar at the top around and made it like blurrier and less like defined and colorful. So I found slick mode to not be that great. Like not an improvement in any way yet. It fixes some edges, but I liked playing without slick mode.
Okay.
I found that it was like dependent on what game I was playing too. Like sometimes slick mode would make certain games.
Sean is just like talking into his mic. That thing is just straight up muted. He was ready to jump in, and he was just saying something, and he was just muted the whole time. He's about to roll in with that retro tink knowledge there, man.
Well, yeah, with the Eon adapter, it's like comparative. It varies from game to game. It's not as good as the GameCube one. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
The GameCube one is awesome. That one's really good.
Yeah. GameCube one is legit. But I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's not going to impress you like the GameCube one does. I think the M cable really does change things up, and like when I use the M cable plus the Eon adapter, like Super Mario 64 looked as good as it possibly could on my television screen. But the M cable, of course, has its own little weird issues. It is impossible to record with the damn thing. Literally 9 times out of 10, the Elgato will not recognize the M cable, and then just randomly it'll work. And like I've talked to other people, and they've had the same issue. And plus with the M cable, it's another $100, and it varies from screen to screen. Some of my TVs, I have 3 TVs and a monitor. Some of them it would do 4:3. Some of them it would stretch the image to 16:9, and it wouldn't let me change it back. So there's just a lot of asterisks. There's a lot of caveats with it, and it's just it's decent for what it is. But you can really just get a retro tank and S video cables for $5 off Amazon and get a pretty damn close similar experience. But I did want to comment on Dragon Quest Builders 2 because that broke my heart.
It broke your heart because you lost your save file.
I can't believe that shit, man. 20 plus hours gone.
Oh man, you got to start Harvest Moon all over again.
That would hurt,
man. It's just at this point, it's like there's so much crap coming out. Fire Emblem's dropping, Raiden 5 is dropping, so I'm just like, like I'll get back into it one day. But yeah, that made me so sad.
That's too bad. Yeah, that's a shame. The cloud save wouldn't work or anything for you either.
Nothing, because the cloud save automatically saved, and the last save that the cloud save pulled was the last save that was done onto the game itself. So it's the exact same save that for some reason is borked.
I wanted to ask, let's see, Jordan, Rax, and Sean, what's your opinion on the price for the Super 64 before we do some of these super chats and move into some of the topics?
I mean, I think we can all agree that it's pretty high for what it is.
Yeah, I think it's too expensive as well. I think it's a shame they launched that price. I think it'd be compelling if it was cheaper.
I think so too. Well, I think 100 would be a lot better for people. Actually, Pink Gorilla, which is Kelsey Lewin's store, is actually selling it for like $120 right now. That's actually a lot better. But yeah, it honestly, if anything, I think this Eon adapter might have made me more excited for the Hyperkin 64, because if the emulation on that is decent, and I think that could end up being like a winner out of this situation, which is bizarre because it's
I wonder
Hyperkin.
if they'll get $100 for that thing. I assume they will.
I think they can. I'll have to buy it because Hyperkin, God forbid Hyperkin sends me anything. Even though I've talked to these people for years there, they're always like, oh yeah, we got you. They never send me shit, so I always just buy their stuff.
Yeah.
But
I'll pick one of those up too for fun. That'll be fun.
I actually just checked out the Retron 2 HD from them, and it's actually not too bad.
Okay.
So Nintendo and NES.
Good stuff. Good stuff. OJ, you were playing Ultimate Alliance 3. Was there anything else you were up to?
Builders 2, Ultimate Alliance 3 for me. Ultimate Alliance, there's a girl that I had no idea who she was, but she's ended up being like my favorite character, Crystal.
Okay.
Reason she's like just awesome in the game. I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun using her. I like people mess around with me. I didn't know the difference between like who was Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel. I would confuse the two.
Like Miss Marvel's real name is Camila Khan, and that's why I always call her by her name, because it confuses people if you say Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel.
Excuse me, because then they said that name, and I was like, "Who the hell are you guys talking about?" So then there was 3 different people, and everyone was just roasting me because I didn't know the difference between these heroes or whatever. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is dope. It's a really good game, man. I'm having fun with that game. I streamed it again this week. And of course, Fire Emblem's coming up next week, so I guess we'll talk about that later or next week. But yeah, those are the games I've been playing, and I'm having a lot of fun with Crystal. She's my favorite character so far. And I have no idea where she's from or what she like. People said that she's from Inhuman.
She's from Inhuman. She's with Lockjaw.
That is, but she's awesome.
That are awoken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? The hell's Inhuman?
I really like playing as Gamora, even though she's like one of the first characters, like obviously they give you in the game, but just her sword play is so much fun once you level it.
Let me go through some of the super chats here before we go over some of the topics we have here. Zildjian says, I've never had any issues with my Joy-Cons, been using the exact same one since launch in 2017. Also, I see no reason to buy a Pro controller. He's on the Sean and Nate wagon there.
No Pro controller.
No Pro controller, man. You got to get a Pro controller.
And you can tell the people who don't play Smash from the people who do. That's all I gotta say.
Need that Pro controller. Miguel says hi. Hi, Miguel. Andy Ackerman says the Brady Bunch. Y'all should practice the live intro. We'll get there. This is the first shot at doing it this way, so we'll smooth some stuff out. This is like the beta test, except we're not making you pre-order to be a part of it.
I'm gonna throw a football, hit Jordan in the nose, and like break his nose with a football. I'm gonna throw a football.
Why me?
You know
the one that I know the most.
You have 7 other people to hit in the nose with a football, and you choose.
Do a podcast together. Shut up and take this football to the nose.
Fish fan says Pro for RGT. So there you go, Sean. I got us right back on track there. Pro for RGT.
It's like $60 on Amazon right now.
I thought it was 23 on Prime Day, someone said.
It was for the fake one.
Oh my god.
Fake one is only 32 right now.
Hey,
that's a
Wood,
ripoff.
Wood likes the fake one. It just doesn't have HD Rumble. I think it has like normal Rumble.
Who cares, really?
Rumble.
Xavier says Spawn, do more controller repairs on Tech Waves. Look into that, definitely. Adam says give RGT a smoke break, boys.
All right, see you in 5 minutes.
I'm okay. I'm okay for now.
Sean is good. I'm surprised you haven't turned to the vaping stuff yet there, Sean. I thought you'd be on that train already.
I've tried vaping and like I cough my head off. Like,
I thought that's supposed to be better for you than smoking.
It's because it's so used to smoking that when you go over to vaping, like it's a completely different feeling. So it may at first you'll start coughing up all the stuff you've been smoking, and then once you're done doing that, it actually will be a different type of experience. But quit both.
Quit. Johnny says best and affordable way to HDMI my N64. I guess would that be the Hyperkin cable is the cheapest? Like, is that it?
Yeah, I would think so.
Otherwise, you go retro tink, right, with S video.
Yeah, that's a great way to go. And if you have a lot of retro consoles, the retro tink makes sense because it does composite, S video, and component. So I mean, it does work very well.
Okay. And technically, retro tink's what, $100 just straight up?
Yeah, I think it's $100.
And that'll take signal in and then just output it to HDMI. It's a little converter box that works well for retro systems. Then Johnny says, how many pair of Jordans does Jordan own?
0.
You don't have any Jordans? Oh man.
Nope. I'm not a shoe guy.
Jalen says, thoughts on Nintendo releasing a physical version of Tetris 99 for $29.99.
Weird.
It's an interesting call on their part. I mean, there are gonna be some. It comes with a cartridge, I assume, right? I haven't looked into it that much.
I think that's too much.
If it does, I mean, Wood's probably buying that because he's like the big Switch collector. He's on top of that one, I bet. But
and that's totally the only people that are going to buy this are the people who really enjoy collecting Switch physical games. I do not know any other demographic. Like, I like Switch 99 and I'm not buying that.
I wonder if that's going to be one of the rare games, like, 10, 15 years from now is Tetris 99, because it was like this limited release and it was going to be it was an online only game for a while.
It's going to be the stadium events.
Dude, I'm telling you. Atlanta with $1, no message. Thank you, Atlanta. And then Johnny again says, at what age did OJ start gaming in your first console?
Did I start gaming? About 3 years old.
Mm-hmm. And ask what your first console is, yeah.
Well, there's Atari and there's some other stuff, but yeah, NES I played that a lot too. But I played a lot of consoles when I was younger.
I think everyone started with either a Nintendo or Super Nintendo or a bit older at this point. I was like it right there. Like, no one really had a Master System.
Yeah.
I mean, some people had a Genesis for the first system, but
I had Atari. Atari was my first.
Yeah, Atari 2600 actually lived on a bit into the 80s, but by the time some of us were gaming, that thing was on its way out. Johnny says, Evan, do you have your own channel? If so, what is it?
Yeah, it's just over on Twitch specifically. I have one that I use for my art, I guess replays almost here, but it's all under Kimmerix Project. The same thing as my Twitter, so you can just find it all through there.
Did you design this layout on your Twitch at the time?
No, this one I did kind of behind scenes because it was all a bunch of busy work and I didn't really think it was worth streaming at the point.
Okay, there you go. Master J says, thanks for letting me know that your online experience for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, I will play online again after the stream. Yeah, Sean, did you play online with that?
Yeah, I did. The guy that sent that message was actually saying, we were talking in the chat, and he was saying that he was having all this trouble connecting to online. But I joined games, I hosted games, and I had no problems. You can use your phone to do voice chat as well, and it actually pairs you up with the randoms that come into your room if they're using the voice chat. So yeah, it works decent. It works a hell of a lot better than Mario Maker 2.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Then Will says, been trying to convince my girlfriend to buy a Switch. She's thinking about a Switch Lite. She's listening live. I was wondering if you could tell her why she needs one. Love you all and love you too, Anna. That's from Will Schultz.
Okay, so here's a serious answer. Switch or a Switch Lite, you can buy a $25 gift card, go on the eShop and find tons of really weird, cool games. There's RPGs, there's really cool puzzle stuff, there's really interesting, just weird stuff all over the place, and most of them are $5 or $8. Like, it is one of the cheapest consoles for full-blown experiences, and it's also a handheld.
Okay. I did see, I think Target is starting to mark down some of their current Switch units right now for $250. Brand new, trying to get rid of them. So I mean, that's not a bad pickup next to the Lite if you just want TV and handheld. But I mean, the Switch Lite and I guess just the overall co-op really that's with it, that comes with it. There's a lot of games you can play together, and there's a lot of games that are going to be targeted obviously towards girls and guys. You have Animal Crossing, that is primarily a game that the majority generally is girls that play it. But then you have games that surprisingly work well, like Max, one of the games you play a lot with your fiance is Diablo.
Dude, yeah. In fact, we're going to BlizzCon this year, and she is making her character's armor in real life. Like, that game is so fun to play co-op. Like, you spend I mean, we've both spent over 100 hours now just in the Switch version playing co-op. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of games you can literally just play together and have fun with. Did she play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 also, Max?
I want to, so basically I had to beat that before launch. I just had to blow through it. So I just beat it solo and a little bit of co-op. I want to have a night where one of my friends who actually dresses up as Gwenpool for like conventions and stuff, I want to have her and her friends over and just beat all of it 4-player co-ops. This is just 10 hours, just have like a full co-op night of it, just so they get the full blast of it.
No, that's cool.
You gonna dress up as Spider-Man Noir while you do it?
No joke. Well, I have that. And I have a couple other Spider-Man costumes now too, so I think I'll be my Cosmic Spider.
Cool. Okay, that'll work. Bright, $1 no message. Thanks, Bright. Phazon, $2 no message, and then Cam, $2 no message, and we'll come back to the super chats in like 30 or 40 minutes or so after that one. Let's move into some of the topics. We had the Switch. There is a new Switch coming out apparently next month here, and then in Europe it's coming out in September from what we're seeing. August. They didn't really say a day, did they? They just said it's basically going to be cycled in sometime in August, and then September Europe will see it. Yeah, so it's going to kind of be kind of cycled in at some point. Like eventually, I assume we'll be walking through the store and there will be that red box Switch like on the shelf. So if they don't announce an exact date, I guess we'll have to just keep an eye on it and see when they show up.
Retail, and he's telling me around it's going to be around the 17th. That's when he told, yeah, and in that time frame, 16th, somewhere that weekend is when they're going to start getting filtered in. It might be a little bit before that, but that's why I said mid-August. But he told me that's around getting theirs at least according to their inventory. But things always change, you know.
Interesting. Okay, so 17th. So we'll keep an eye on that. So about a month from now. I think most people are going to pick it up because the biggest upgrade for this thing is the battery life. I mean, it is a large jump. It's not even like a little jump. It's like Breath of the Wild is what, five. They said 5.5 hours now instead of 3. And it can last up to 9 hours, probably on like indie titles. But that is a substantial jump. We're talking like a 75% increase in battery life or something now.
Yes.
Like it's a fairly large jump. You seemed a little confused by this one, Sean, in your video, mostly because of the Switch Lite.
The Switch Lite comes out later, and I get it. Research development takes time to build shit, but coming out after this system, yet has a weaker battery than this system, and the Switch Lite is only a portable system. It just seems weird. It seems really weird.
See, I had that thought initially because I was like, the Switch Lite is supposed to be this handheld, portable-friendly system, and now we're seeing that it actually has 2 hours less battery life. But when you really look at what the Lite is supposed to be, it's a cheap, affordable alternative that's going to be more durable, that's made for the casual child audience. 7 hours is ample. It also has a smaller battery, and I mean, it still comes in at $100 cheaper. So it makes sense when you really consider what it is supposed to be. It is weird for Nintendo to come out after the fact and say, hey, here's a revision of the current Switch, and it's going to have a better battery than our handheld only one. That was kind of weird marketing. And it's probably why they didn't really make it a huge announcement. It's just kind of like, yeah, it has better battery. You'll buy it when it comes out in August, but we're not really going to tell you when, because Nintendo is clearly not treating this as a big deal.
Well, it was going to have either way, no matter what they did, it was going to have some kind of improvement because they're changing the different switch or the different chip fabrication. So no matter what they did, unless I had the thought that they're going to shrink the battery or something, they're going to do something crazy. No, it's just the side effect is it's more efficient. So they're going to leave everything battery wise and all that stuff the same. And it's just going to get more battery life.
You're going to shrink the process. It's going to have, more efficient technology for the internals. It's going to have more efficient RAM. So that's where we're just seeing the benefits of that battery increasing substantially while keeping the battery size exactly the same as the current Switch. Because I saw some people online saying, oh, can I just buy a new battery and put it in my new Switch and get these benefits? And everyone's like, no, it's the exact same battery size. Yeah. It's just that the technology internally now is more efficient. So you're going to get these gains.
we think it's dropping to 60 nanometer, which is about what we all assume, which means it's also the other side effect is going to run cooler. Like Sean, remember when you were talking about Mortal Kombat and you were like, it's like super hot right now. Like my Switch feels really hot. It'll still feel warm, but it probably won't feel that hot just because there'll be less energy obviously being moved. You'll probably get a cooler running Switch from it as well. I'm going to be really curious when they start doing the battery tests on games that generally beat up the battery pretty good. Like Splatoon 2 with Wi-Fi on actually kills the battery very quickly. Like that's one. I think some people are saying it's like a 2-hour battery when you do it that way, like when you really get after it. And I'll be curious when people really stress it, how it does in those scenarios rather than just like Breath of the Wild or like I don't know, Ultimate Alliance 3 or something, like when you're really pushing Splatoon.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of really want, because of the fact that I play a lot in handheld mode, and it's like I don't want to spend $500 on new Switches in 2 months. Like,
well, see, I was going to ask you that. Saying last week you were saying I'm going to buy the Lite because I like to play in handheld mode. Would you buy the Lite now outside of coverage purposes? What purpose is it for you? Because you primarily play in handheld, but you do dock. You're getting the better experience with this new Switch.
You're right.
So the Lite is now obsolete for you. There's no reason for you to buy a Lite.
But it's turquoise.
Turquoise and coverage purposes are the only two reasons I'm going to buy the damn thing. But no, you're 100% right. Like, this is the Switch I want. It still has my detachable Joy-Cons. It does everything my standard Switch does. Just has a better battery life. It will probably not burn my hands when I play Mortal Kombat in handheld mode.
I have to buy the new Switch because my Switch is 89% broken. My touch screen this bottom left part randomly just goes crazy and I have to restart it like 5 times to get it to work. So I'm buying it simply because I need one. So to me, it's perfect timing. It's one of those things of like, okay, well, this thing's pretty much dead. Now I have a new one. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't buy it. I mean, the upgrade is so small. My plan is to buy the new one, do some comparisons, actually like boot up Diablo on this and boot up Diablo on the new one and compare them and see if there's any difference. And then I'm going to try and trade this into GameStop and get some store credit on my broken Switch.
There you go. All right. That's not a terrible idea. I think I am curious how many people are going to see a benefit to upgrade. That's gonna be the thing. And I'm also curious if, Nate, we talked about this a little bit about this Switch. The reason that they're not going to change it in handheld mode, but when it's in docked mode, is there any reason that the clocks wouldn't be higher if they decided to patch that in? That's the other question, because then you don't have a battery in the way.
That's the big question, because it's obvious it's going to have a lot of overhead where they could see some performance gains. It's just a question of, is Nintendo going to allow the system to clock at those figures? Because this new revision is clearly catered for the battery life, as that's the only thing they really highlighted was the increase in battery life. So it's more efficient. So you could push the system to new heights if it's docked. And it's probably going to be one of those things where we're going to have to actually get the system in hand, maybe put in a game, see if it loads a little quicker, see if it maybe just runs a little smoother. It's probably nothing that's going to be so substantial that people are going to have to run out and buy it, but it might have some, minor performance gains here or there. And obviously, Digital Foundry will probably have a report out before the systems actually launch, because I think the Switch revision is launching in Hong Kong on August 1st.
Oh, okay. I think that you think they'll get one of those then? They'll get it.
If they can probably find a way to get their hands on it, I imagine they would.
That's interesting, because that's soon. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I didn't know they were going to launch there first. Okay. Are they bundling it with the game, or is just literally just the revisions just going?
Just the system.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting to see it pop up. I want to see the chip though. That's what I want to see, is what if the chip is noticeably different in person physically. But I'll be getting it as well. And the Lite, obviously for coverage purposes. I don't know if I would need the Lite though, to be honest, if I wasn't doing coverage on it with that new revision being announced.
Yeah, I feel like that's what happened for a lot of people who are sitting saying, "Oh, I need the Lite. It has that better battery life, and so I'm going to pick up the Lite." And then Nintendo just came out and said, "Well, you can have the exact same Switch that you have right now, and you're going to get all that functionality for the same price, and you're just going to get, twice the battery life. And then people are kind of sitting there saying, well, I don't need the Lite. I mean, obviously the Lite audience that the Lite is intended for is still going to buy the Lite and not this other version, because it is still $300, and the Lite at $199 is still very appealing to that demographic. So I think that $299 model is definitely going to get a lot of double dippers of the people trading in their current Switch, even though they might be happy with it. But 9 hours compared to 4.5 is that's pretty appealing.
Okay. What's especially you, Nate? What's the thought on that Wall Street Journal Pro thing, the Switch Pro that people still seem to talk about? Any thoughts on that? Because I still see that getting passed around online.
What's weird is people are clinging to that initial report to say, well, he was talking about something else, and he hasn't helped his case because he hasn't come out and just said, yes, this is what I was talking about. But when you really read those initial reports, they said, oh, it's not going to be an upgrade like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. This clearly is not that. He also said the Lite wasn't going to be like a PlayStation Vita. It is very much like a PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, I was going to say, it basically is a Vita.
Yeah, so it was either there was something lost in translation, and the way he put those quotes together, it was confusing. I would say, out of everything I've ever heard, of the two revisions for 2019, the Lite and this current one with negligible gains, if any, are the only two I ever heard of. So if they were talking about a potential, we'll say Pro, which would see substantial gains, I don't see that as what Wall Street Journal was referring to. I don't think that's what the Japanese newspaper was referring to, because otherwise they nailed everything else. They got the release window, and it's just that one weird paragraph from his sources saying, again, the Lite's not going to be like a PlayStation Vita, and this isn't going to be similar to a PlayStation Pro or an Xbox One X upgrade, which would be right. But it was just so unclear and convoluted that people are kind of dissecting it and pasting it in a way that can go on any side of the argument. And it's just a mess, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously this is what we have for the rest of the year, but I mean,
if something's going to come in 2020,
do they feel like they need it in 2020?
I don't see why they would. Let's entertain the idea. We saw that nonsense rumor came up this week of the Breath of Darkness, where it would launch with a Switch 2. Obviously, that rumor is pure bullshit.
What are you talking about? Breath of Darkness? What are you talking about?
Oh, you didn't see that rumor?
No, I did not see this.
A 4chan guy came up saying Nintendo is going to launch the Switch 2 in 2020 with Zelda Breath of Darkness. That'll be the official title of Breath of the Wild 2.
Sean, where were you? Where were you on this, Sean? I didn't see this.
That's a hell of a rumor.
Yeah, I mean, it's crap, especially when you look at it. They said the Switch 2 is going to be a traditional home console, but Nintendo can't get the system to rival the power of a PlayStation 4.
I hear Sean's keyboard clicking away right now. Our Breath of the Darkness.
I'm going to make a video right now.
These leaks.
Switch 2 is a great name. I think they really nailed it this time.
Let's entertain that rumor just as something. Would Nintendo be smart to have a Switch Pro launch with Breath of the Wild 2 in holiday 2020? I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but is it necessary? Not really.
I mean, there's going to be there's even for Scarlet and the PS5, there's going to be that cross-generation year. I assume most people believe outside of first-party titles, where third parties will still develop NBA 2K, for example, for 5 different platforms or something, stuff like that. You'll still see probably those games. And I wonder if Nintendo's well, you know what, maybe we'll just tough it out until 5 years is up, and then we'll move on to the next generation Switch or something, rather than release a Pro, we'll say, in the 4th year, and then the next year they do the next gen jump or something. That would seem weird.
Yeah, I see them going more into a 2021 with a next gen system, if they even want to rush it out at that point. Because we're going to have a bunch of speculation for the next year and a half of Nintendo needing to have a more powerful system to compete against the PS5, where I don't know why the conversation still trends in this direction, but since the Wii, Nintendo does not care about traditional generation cycles. They released the Wii U late into the PS3, Xbox 360 generation, and the Wii U was only as powerful as 7-year-old hardware at the time. They then launched this hardware 3 years into the PS4, Xbox One generation. They do not follow the trends of the other companies. So they're not going to release hardware like, oh no, PS5 came out in 2020. We have to have new hardware to go with it.
I mean, honestly, if they're going to have a we'll say quote unquote pro, if they're going to launch it next to any game, I actually think it would be something like Metroid Prime 4. Because that's a game that would be, I assume, the most realistic out of all their games, like looking anyway, you know, pushing. I mean,
like Breath of the Wild 2 would be a great launch. You would replicate what you had with the Switch, but you would probably, but you're not going to do that in 2020. You don't need to kickstart the next generation Switch this soon. You're still selling record-breaking numbers worldwide with the Switch, and you just introduced the Lite to get that casual audience, and you have Animal Crossing hitting in the spring. You're going to start a new generation 9 months later? No,
you know,
that's weird.
You know what you do is you save that. We're talking about those patches where it would increase clock speeds on the new Switch that we see. You save that until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, and you have like something that's like Switch enhanced or something for that. That's what you do. You save that, and then you don't worry about doing it. Something like that.
Breath of Darkness, asshole.
Breath of Darkness.
Breath
I'm sorry. Breath of Darkness.
Breath of Darkness and asshole kind of fit together perfectly.
If it's really Breath of Darkness, oh my god!
It's not Breath of Darkness. What the hell, man? Charlie Murphy? What's going on? What's going on? You serious? Breath of Darkness? That's not happening.
Darkness. Twin Breath of Darkness.
Mud on your couch, Zelda.
Oh,
what is this? That's not happening. Who made that up? Like
that rumor was. I mean, just the name Breath of Darkness was hilarious, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they just settled on that name recently." No, they didn't. And then the part where they're like, "Yeah, Nintendo's struggling with Nvidia to make a stationary console that can match the PlayStation 4 in power." Really? I think Nvidia has GPUs that are about $5 that outclass the PS4 at this point that they could throw into a traditional setup box.
Yeah.
Like whoever came up with the rumor was just like, "Oh, what's the stupidest thing I can type?"
Oh man.
Well, Switch 2.
I feel like that's how a lot of those rumors start, though. It's just like, what can I get away with? Let's see.
And people read it and they're like, "Breath of Darkness."
It's we'll say I still think the Lite's going to sell really well, even with this newer Switch, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I'm definitely getting at least the enhanced one with battery life. That'll be cool. I'll be curious to see what if it does anything new with clock speeds or anything.
Yeah, I mean that's really the big question right now.
Yeah. You never. I mean, they could patch it in. I mean, Mortal Kombat runs at some like higher frequency, and randomly it got introduced for portable mode. So you never know. They play around with the clock speeds a lot.
See. Mortal Kombat will be the interesting game to test on the new Switch to see if it just runs a little better because it has that extra overhead where maybe it's just a little smoother in comparison.
It could be. Yeah.
I mean, it might only be like a frame, but you know, that can make a difference.
That's all people are going to look for is there any difference? And if there is, then that's enough to be like, yeah, okay, there's something here. Nintendo, maybe like the temperatures are lower. I mean, you can check all of that. So, I mean, people will play around with that and see what they get. I'm also going to be curious to see if the hacking community figures anything out with this new chip. That'll be interesting if they do, because that's obviously another reason why they're moving this chip. So,
yeah, all that easy piracy on the current Switch.
Rax, you upgrading? You getting a Lite or this one? What do you got?
I'm definitely not getting a Lite because honestly, I never really take my Switch out of my house. Honestly, when I'm out and about, I don't have time where I'm like sitting down. If I'm out and about, I'm actually doing something. So there's no time that I'm really anywhere going on vacation or anything. I stay pretty busy when I'm not at home. So upgrading to the Lite would not be beneficial for me. The last time I took my Switch out of my dock, I went to the DMV and I didn't even play it. I literally watched 2 YouTube videos and I was out of there.
Oh, nice. Wow, you got lucky.
That's like, yeah, that was the only time that I thought that I would ever play something because I thought I'd be there for a long time. So if anything, if the new Switch comes out that is supposedly going to have a better battery life and everything like that, if it has better performance, maybe. So if it does, like Nate was saying, like even have like a couple of frames better of frame rate or anything of that nature with certain games, then maybe I could see that because I do a lot of streams from my Switch, so performance would benefit me in that aspect. But when it comes to just taking it out in better battery life, it doesn't mean anything to me, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, so you definitely want to just see if there's anything in docked mode that would give better performance. Then that's what we're gonna keep an eye on, because everyone's gonna be checking that out. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it sounds like you're pretty content, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I try to save money where I can so I can get more games to cover and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's just me trying to be simple, honestly.
Okay.
Official SpawnCast prediction, all it's going to do is have faster load times. That's it. I don't think it's going to improve the performance at all. I think it's going to be like what each of the consecutive Switch minis, or PS3, how the PS3 was big and then it got smaller and it got smaller. Each one just cut load times and nothing else. And I bet it's just going to be that. It's going to be like, all right, a game that has 6 seconds of load times, it's 4.
Okay.
Cool to me, but I bet that's all it'll be.
I mean, it probably will be it, but I mean, even that's not a bad game. A little quicker load speed. Or maybe it has like a new Wi-Fi chip, so the connection crash.
Connection's
Even
not
it runs
sporadic.
cooler. I'm cool with that.
I think some people would just be happy if all of a sudden your Bluetooth headsets could connect to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that.
Yeah, I think like it's, but I'm saying like the little things would make people happy, So
Use my Bluetooth headphones.
there you
like
go.
a Joy-Con that doesn't drift.
See, now we're getting somewhere. Let's actually we'll save that one towards the end, because we have the whole lawsuit thing to go over, which is kind of funny. The way all that's kind of shaking out. Let me talk a bit about GameStop before we get into some of the super chats, and then we'll roll into the lawsuit. Sean's taking off. I don't know where he's going. GameStop seems to be, I don't know if this is like their last shot or if it's like their last big push, but apparently they're going to make some changes to their stores after an article came out from I think Engadget had the article on that, and they talked about GameStop apparently partnering up with a company that will help them make over their stores. And one of the things they mentioned was we're going to do some dedicated retro gaming stores, which I don't know if dedicated retro gaming stores would actually work. And then they're going to change it up. They're going to let you play games in the store to test it and all this stuff. And I'm curious if there's anything at this point GameStop can do to save themselves, or they're just done. They're just in trouble.
Well, I have a perfect name for their retro stores, since it's the start of gaming, retro stuff. They call it GameStop instead of GameStop.
GameStop.
Boo this man!
I thought you were gonna say, since you blow into cartridges, it'd be called Blow Me or something.
That can also work. That's on the table. They haven't decided.
Wait, what? That went all the way to the other side real quick.
Man,
Oh my god.
Opening, or it's already open but nothing's there. They built a esports thing, an esports lounge for tournaments, and apparently it's here. It's like across the street, and you can walk into it, but there's nothing there. There's like GameStop and stuff and TVs, but nothing's on. I don't understand.
Wait, yeah, so they said they wanted to do tournaments in stores. Okay, so Evan, how well does that work?
John, the more we were hearing about this, the more I was thinking someone from our history that we know is suddenly on like the headboard for GameStop now. Like that, it never works. None of it works. It's fun to do. It's fun to build a community, but when you have 100 people in a store and you see like customers walk by and they're like, it looks busy, I'll come back later, and no one inside's buying anything, you're just like, yeah, this is not a good day.
I don't know if, because generally they want to move foot traffic through pretty quick. I don't know if having people stand around playing games for like 3 or 4 hours at a time with 40, 50 people in there would really help that situation at all.
And not for anything, but if someone's in there shopping, most people don't want to listen to gamers screaming at the top of their lungs like, ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like people don't want to hear that when they're shopping. Like I know that if I was in a store trying to focus on what I'm looking to get, or just look at the back of a case or read a description or something like that, and I hear somebody and I'm probably gonna leave.
I picture I'm there and I'm trying to read this box real quick, and there's yelling like,
what happened? Who just oohed?
Dude, that used to happen all the time during the Madden tournaments back in the day. There'd be people there and everybody, oh man, I'm gonna kill you in this. Oh, you ain't got nothing on me, man. I'm just playing like Whenever we had Madden tournaments.
There are some issues, man. Sometimes people will get like they'll get heated over a loss or something, and people are like shoving at times. It can get a little crazy in there, you know.
That's why a lot of arcades ended up closing, is because there was always like, especially in my area, like when it came to arcades, a lot of violent stuff would happen because people would just get super upset because either they were like serving alcohol at this location, people would get a little too loose, and then get into fights because they.
That's a terrible idea. I would not be so.
Terrible idea. They don't even serve alcohol like at Deja Vu, dude, or like at like.
Yo,
like
Dave and Buster's, baby. Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's.
I'm just saying, like, that's not a good idea. Like video games and alcohol and like people. Oh no, man.
Yeah, get a few beers in you, play the big Rock'em Sock'em Robots thing, and all of a sudden a fight breaks out.
They used to have an arcade here in the mall. That was forever ago. They don't have it anymore. What's that?
Silver Ball. It's a really, really old joke. It's like the beginning of YouTube.
It was an arcade here.
Some place in the mall.
It was awesome, but then they ripped it out and it turned into like a hot topic, and then it turned into part of the food court. So it was a long time ago. But yeah, arcade's just gone. But I just don't think it's a great idea to have tournaments in your store. And because they said they also wanted to make the store smaller. Like they wanted to downsize some of them. So I don't know how all that's going to work.
I think they should do game rentals.
Ugh. We've been there before too.
We did that. We tried that too.
It's not a good thing.
But if I want to like rent a game today, it's either GameFly or Redbox. Redbox is limited selection. GameFly, you have to wait 4 days to get it. I wouldn't mind being able to go to GameStop, say, well, here's $3. I get the game for 3 days, and playing it.
Rent, but do people still, with Game Pass and with all these different things, these online stuff, do you want to go to a store and physically rent something when you can just have it right there at your fingertips? Like whether it's streaming or whether it's the Game Pass or stuff like that. I think
I don't know. Like, what if I want to rent? Is like what if I just want to rent like Mario Party for the GameCube really quick? I don't want to buy it for $70 friggin'.
See?
I just want to play it for the weekend and get drunk during the summer with friends one weekend. I want to rent it, bring it back.
Hey, Mark.
I'm not sure if the rental game is strong like it used to. Back in the day, it was great to rent games. Video City back in the day and Blockbuster. Blockbuster was trash, but like you had all
Video.
Hollywood Video and all that. But I don't know about today, man. Do people just now? It's like they'll just buy it. Like there's so many free to play games too. Back then there wasn't free to play. Now there's free to play. So it's like people just. We'll just go on there and like get free to play games instead.
I have good news for you, Nate. GameStop technically already does a rental service.
You buy a used game, you bring it back within 7 days.
Yeah. And you get your receipt, man. There you go. You get it.
Or you just work there.
How many people I watched do that back in the old GameStop days was insane.
Yeah, we used to have a guy did that all the time in the store I worked at, but he made it so blatant because he would just come in, come back 7 days exactly, take out another game. So he did it for like 2 months, and the manager's like, guy, it's like, you haven't bought a game in 2 months. He's like, I know what you're doing. He's like, you can't do this anymore. We're cutting you off. He's like, but the receipt says it. He's like, yeah, the receipt says it. He's like, but we're not a rental service.
Yeah, that's exactly. That came up. And then that's how I found out about modding original Xbox, because the same guy kept coming in every other day and he kept changing out Xbox original games. And eventually I was like, what are you doing? He's, I have an Xbox. I just rip all these and I bring them back when I'm done with ripping them. Like the hard drive. And I was like,
the brutal.
Yeah, I was like,
I love it.
I used to do that at Blockbuster because remember how Blockbuster had that unlimited Game Pass where you could rent as many games as you want?
Oh yeah.
Lived like I could throw a rock and hit Blockbuster where I lived. So I would go there, I'd get a game, I'd come home, I'd burn it, I'd go back, I'd rent a game. Like, oh yeah, I didn't like this one. I do it like 5 or 6 times a day. Like,
I'd be like, I didn't like any of these.
In company, where y'all are at, movie trading company. So they have a thing where when you're going up to the counter to buy a game, they'll actually be like, oh, you can buy this right now for like $25, or if you want, we can just rent it to you for $5 and bring it back in like 5 days. And so they just always offer it to you at the counter. And then basically what they do is newer games are slightly more expensive. So if you want to get Mortal Kombat 11 on release day, you're paying like $11 to have it for 10 days. I think something like that, if they just change the marketing, GameStop might be able to work it because I mean they have such a broke demographic.
It's time to start taking shots at these other companies. I'm telling you, you're selling their systems for them, and then they're selling their digital games. You got to start taking shots at the digital area. You got to make fun of it. You know, the 200 gigabyte downloads.
Could do something like that. I mean, there's a lot of negatives that go along with the digital era, and that would be smart. But yeah, I just think the right people aren't running that company. The people that are running that company, they don't have a pulse to the community. They don't have a pulse on what's hot. Like their social media guy is probably the best and smartest person that they have.
I saw some of that stuff was pretty funny. Some of it was pretty good.
Doing actually legit memes.
Yeah, I'll give them credit. I thought that was pretty funny. Some of the stuff they were saying. But yeah, the marketing I think is the biggest thing. They got to change their image. They got to hurry. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
With my buddy who's like in the financial sector, he does like investments and stuff, and he was explaining why Michael Pachter was saying that GameStop will be around for another 7 years. It's because GameStop's debt is owned by all these other super millionaires. So that's why they keep just going a different direction, is that GameStop still technically has a lot of money. GameStop can still technically screw up a lot because they're not really losing cash. It's one of those weird situations. So as bad as GameStop sucks, they're just going to keep experimenting until eventually it just all completely flatlines. It's so dumb.
So
I think they'll make it to next
7 years. We still have 7 years of making GameStop is dying video.
Exactly. Seven years. Yeah.
I think they'll make it through the next generation at least. But then the moment the next systems, the PlayStation 6 and I don't know, the Xbox Midnight Blue or something, they come out and they say there's no disk drive in these systems. It's all digital. That's when they're in trouble, I think. Then they're like, well, we don't have anything to sell now.
No, they just all become think geeks and just sell pop culture.
That is going away.
Well, by then, Xbox 360 will be considered retro games, and they probably have a ridiculous, massive warehouse of that. So there you go. They'll become retro game stores.
Game start.
There we go.
I'm calling it now.
I mean, think about it that way. That means that by the end of next generation, the Xbox 360 will turn like 20 something.
Ew. That feels weird.
That's considered retro, right? You know, 2025, the Xbox 360 will be 20.
That just makes me feel old.
It should make everyone feel old.
Yeah.
So there you go. It'll be considered very much a retro system. So that's how they do it. Let me go. I guess we'll go through some of these super chats where we talk about this Nintendo lawsuit that's going on. We'll start with Matthew Campo saying, why is gaming on HD monitors better than HD TVs? It's because HD monitors have much less lag when it comes to refresh. So you get like OJ, you went from a TV to a monitor and it was so different for you for Smash.
Yeah, screw TVs.
So if you're close enough to a monitor and like a station you have set up, play on that. But if you just want to play on the couch, I get that too.
I also wanted to say screw you too, John, for ruining my TV that I just bought. Damn it.
It's tough, man. It's tough. Those TVs.
Now
man,
you're telling me I need a Pro controller and a PC monitor to play Smash Brothers?
Well, Smash Brothers is Smash Bros. You can get away with a 1080p monitor because it's 1080p. You know, yeah. So you can get one of those for about $90 to $100 for like a 22-inch, 23-inch, and then you just need a Pro controller, which is about $50, so $150, and you're good.
Yeah, that's a tax like $175. If I have it shipped, it's over $200. See, now it's getting too pricey.
It's also
you can,
a tax
dude, you
write-off.
can use a GameCube controller. Get a GameCube controller and the adapter. That's
Wait a minute.
right there.
Wait a minute. You don't have a computer monitor? You just have a laptop, Nate?
I got a computer monitor, but it's like small.
Oh, what is it? Is it
How
widescreen with
small?
HDMI?
Yeah.
But you already have a monitor.
Yeah, but I'm not using that thing.
Well, plug it in and just see if you can tell a difference. Just once, just plug it in and see if you can tell a difference when it comes to input. I think you'll be surprised. Oh yeah, did you get that? Are you set up with that Yeti yet? One of these comments asked you about why you don't talk on your channel, and I figured it was because your mic was well, it hurt my ears. So, did you get that Yeti set up and everything yet?
Yeah, I was going to use it tonight, but it's picking up the fan.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So
Okay.
I figured instead of actually sounding like there's a Yeti behind me screaming. I would just go back to the generic Turtle Beach from like 2007.
Okay, that'll work. So we'll see how that sounds maybe next week. You got to play around with it too, because there are different settings on the back with there's like a dial that you can move, and it'll change the direction and what it records around you as well.
Yeah, I was looking at those, like there's 4 different circles. One's a heart, one's an infinity sign, one's an 8.
I left it on the right, the one you want mostly, but you can look into it because some are good for conferences or like interviews. Like it'll record from both sides and everything, and you just want to look into it, see which one you want to use. Mecha Dragon says, Spawn, has there ever been something that you couldn't tear apart that you wanted to make a video for? What was the most annoying thing to tear apart? The most annoying, I guess, annoying thing would be that Panasonic Cube, because those things are really annoying to take apart. Sean, why don't you could go and take yours apart, Sean, see what happens. Yeah, take a look at that video, Sean, and you'll wrap yours in bubble wrap.
I watched Sean for at least an hour struggling trying to do arcade 1-up modifications.
Okay.
So I don't think he would ever be able to even take apart the device.
Wait, was the arcade 1-up modification the thing where you put the tape on it? So we're talking about.
Here's what happened.
Oh no!
Light up marquee for the Mortal Kombat machine because I thought it looked pretty cool. So it came in, and stupid 8-bit Eric was like, yeah, it'll take you like 15-20 minutes to do it. If you want to, I can walk you through it. Just call me on Facebook video chat. So me had like a Facebook video call, and this thing took me well over an hour to put in. The wires that attach, because essentially what it is it replaces the marquee, and then there's an LED light strip that is what lights it up. The wires disconnected because I dropped the LED strip so many times, so I had to have scotch tape and put in the wires to make it so that would work. I cut my finger open. The back of my arcade 1-up has blood stains all over it because it's like a tan color, and there's a blood. Yeah, there's blood all around. I had blood all on the sides of it. It was bad.
No,
but
the best part, man, is when you dropped the screwdriver in the arcade, and when you dumped it over to get it, you knocked down your basketball. It's just a whole disaster.
Was this a live stream or something?
No, this is a phone call.
Yeah, it was just a phone.
This is a phone call. Sean, you missed out on what could have been one of the greatest live streams ever.
Like the basketball, because the basketball hoop was up, and then it just came down as I'm trying to get the screwdriver out of the bottom of the thing. Like,
I mean, people in the chat are gonna have to let us know if that doesn't sound like one of the most entertaining things you've ever.
Sean literally recreated the Three Stooges by himself in his room.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have watched that. I would have watched that. That sounds fun.
And he got all upset, and he's like, "Oh, I'm too hot in here. I need a smoke break." Goes outside, starts smoking for a minute, and then goes, "It's too hot outside," and then goes right back
It was, man. It was muggy as hell out.
So wait, is your arcade all set up with the new thing and everything? It's fine.
I eventually got it together, but kind of comes off sometimes. So I have most of the screws out of the back, so I can just open up the back real quick and just push the tape in there to make it work when I want to turn it on.
Okay. So you don't have to do anything else to it. It's fine how it is now. You can just leave it.
And I can
It still works.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know people made like new marquees, like the whole things for it. That's cool.
There's a whole secondary market for them that people are doing all this sort of stuff with.
I need some more room so I can get into the arcade 1-up scene.
Can I get that office space?
Dude, I just put one together last night, and as soon as I got done putting it together, turn it on, dead pixels, legit. I was like, and I waited like 3 days to get it too. So now they're sending me another one on Monday. I literally told him, I was like, I'm not taking this thing apart. I was like, you're picking it up the way that it is, and have fun.
Oh man, I want the Turtles one. That's the one that's going to get me to dive in.
Definitely.
That Turtles one's going to do
good.
it, man. That's going to be crazy.
There's a Galaga one, right? That's the one I want.
That's like the three that are always at my.
cheap.
There's some that are always at my Walmart. One has like 3 games on it or something, or 2 games, and it's like 2 terrible arcade games with like the white like ball that I guess you move around. I think is one of them. And so I'm looking at that, I'm like, ugh.
I will only get it if Sean will come to my place and set.
I can build the cabinets all day, like because I've already done 3.
I was gonna say you've done 3 of them behind you, yeah.
That
Then
shit
Labo should be no problem for you. You should be able to
see-
put together a Labo robot.
Labo robot is the fun is supposed to be building it. That is not fun. The building process is not fun. The fun should be after it is built, and then you get to experience it. And that's why I like arcade one-ups. And that's why I'm buying the 2 new ones. I may end up messing around and getting the Star Wars one as well. I don't even like those Star Wars games. They're old,
I don't know if
stupid
I can get that one.
Atari games, but like the Turtles one and the Marvel Cab, like, come on, man. Marvel superheroes, X-Men, Children of the Atom, and Punisher. Like, come on.
I feel like that's you have to get that one if you're an arcade fan and you don't get the Marvel versus Capcom, or well, not Marvel versus Capcom, but Marvel superheroes, dude. That's such a good game.
Skylar Gerard says for the shirtless newswave fun. Thank you, Skylar. I'll say Mono with $1 no message. Then another $1 no message from Mono. Jake W says, if playing Fire Emblem, what house will you start out with? Any thoughts on the houses that everyone's going to start with?
Maybe
Oh yeah, OJ. Yeah, what house are you starting with, OJ?
Golden Deer, but I'm going to be playing pretty much all three, or I'm going to be playing Golden Deer and Black Eagles at the same time, pretty much, because one of them is going to be a YouTube series and the other one's going to be a live stream series.
Ooh,
one of them is going to be
a YouTube series.
The Fire Emblem stupid stuff that happens, just pretty much daily Fire Emblem videos.
You're the
just
Fire
stuff
Emblem
that happens
guy.
in first Let's Plays. And then I have a live streaming series of like that's going to be Golden Deer, and then the Black Eagles will be my YouTube series. So.
Oh, cool. That's gonna be interesting. Do they? I haven't looked too much into the differences between the houses. Do they have different perks and bonuses and stuff between them?
Well, basically, I mean, anybody can pretty much be anything in the game, but there's crests, which have like in terms of each house has more affinities. So, for example, Black Eagles, they're really more like magic-based users, so their stats are going to be better in that compared to like the Golden Deer are more like archery-based.
Okay.
Stuff like that. But you can basically anybody can change to pretty much any class for the most part, with the exception of the lords.
Okay. Yeah, looking forward to jumping in the Fire Emblem, and it's been a long time, so I'm gonna be checking that out on Friday. That's gonna be fun, I think.
YouTube series of Fire Emblem. That's gonna be fun.
Cam says PlayStation Classic is $20 now, and Cam just laughs at them.
All right, Jordan, we the PlayStation Classic boys.
We're the classic boys. So Amazon didn't care so much because they know they just had to get rid of it. When they shipped it out the other day for Prime Day, they didn't put it in a box, as you can see. They just slapped stickers all over the front shipping labels and just delivered it like that. So thank you for ruining already trash. So
that's funny.
$100 day one edition. Bull.
Hey, at least it was a write-off.
Same.
Okay?
I got my shit for $20.
I got $100. Same thing.
It was funny. The day it went on sale, because Best Buy kept dropping it to like 30 and then like 25, and this went to 20. Best Buy put it back up to 60 during Prime Day, and I was like, well, you just lost selling all, because my Best Buy has about 400 on a back wall that are not moving every week I go. So
that's
tough. You guys seen those little USB things you can get on Amazon, like the crackhead pack and the fight pack or whatever? It's like $20 and legit. And I'm not kidding. It's actually literally called the crackhead pack. I'm not joking.
You can just mod. It's actually real. There's a whole modding scene. It's pretty easy to do now.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're spending $20 on a USB drive, you know what I mean? If you have a USB drive anyway, you might as well get it preloaded. Save yourself some money.
They've already found a way to reprogram the PlayStation Classic to do other games as well, and apparently you can do like Super Nintendo and Genesis on it really smoothly. I haven't done any of that yet, though.
I haven't even opened it.
Yeah,
it's actually a pretty cool little emulator box now, basically. So there you go. Rich Shadow at $2, no message. Thanks, Rich. Sab says, should I sell my V1 switches for new version? This is #PE. Should sell my V1 switches for new version. It depends. I mean, we just talked about the portable aspect to it. If you play it portably and you want that extra battery life, maybe. I mean, here's the thing: you want to transfer all your stuff over, so you got to have your Switch and then the new Switch like next to each other, basically, right? So you can get them transferred, like basically in your possession at the same time. So, I mean, maybe if you're already thinking about it, get the new one and then sell the old one after you transfer it. I'm interested enough to get the new one just because the battery life is that much better. And I'm curious about what we talked about where the clock speeds could possibly get patched up. We'll see. Syrian, no message, $1. Thanks, Syrian. Christopher said, would increase the
gap between docked and handheld is what they're saying. Like the I guess the performance between them. Possibly, although they might be able to play around with clock speeds in handheld mode even. To be honest, but then you kind of lose some of that battery life. At this point, I think people who play docked just want it to be like smooth frame rate, 900p, 1080p if possible. I think is what people are mostly for that boost.
It'd be something like playing Doom, where it has a dynamic resolution. Where if they could just maintain it at 720p, that would be really the only gain instead of having it fluctuate to 540 back to 720. Just like a little gain like that. Nothing that's going to be like, oh my god, this Switch is terrible now. No, it's just, hey, you get that nice little benefit.
Yeah, just the extra, just the smoothness and the resolution, really. Atlanta says, John, it's squink. Oh, like a contraction of squid and ink. Got it. I was talking about their name. How about Nintendo repackaging that neon yellow Joy-Con again? It's kind of funny. I didn't even really think too much about it until I kind of looked at it again, where it was like the blue and yellow, where they got that yellow Joy-Con and put it with the blue one again. I think most people looked at that purple and that orange, though. That's like the one that a lot of people were talking about.
Yeah, because it's GameCube. It's the GameCube purple and the spice.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's supposed to kind of be Halloween theme, right? To kind of go along with Luigi's Mansion, which is coming out at the end of the month. But I guess I mean, I think at this point, I don't know why they're not offering matching sets of orange and matching sets of purple. I don't know. I would prefer that. Just come out with two different versions there. Kuro Tengetsu says, any ideas on how Nintendo makes switching progress between the Switch and Lite? Do you think Nintendo will release a smaller version of the Switch? I mean, that's what the Lite. You mean of like the full Switch, of like the Switch that I don't think they can make the base unit any different sizes because it has to sit flush with the Joy-Con controllers. The only thing they could do is go wider, and then you're just making a weird looking device.
That's a long boy.
They kind of locked themselves into the size of the Switch, I think, without it looking weird. When they designed the dock the way it is and the Joy-Cons the way they are. So I don't know if they're going to play around with the size as much. Like I think that screen is always going to be that size until next generation.
Until the ultra widescreen edition comes out.
Like I don't know.
That's
I think
the Switch 2, actually. For Breath of the Darkness. Yep.
What about switching? Because Doug Bowser said they're going to play around with the idea of switching progress between Switch and Lite a bit easier. I'm not really sure how they do that. Like Animal Crossing, you can't change Animal Crossing around.
Yeah, that statement by him was curious.
That actually means they're doing something with the online. They might actually do something. Maybe they'll give us. Maybe they'll localize Wrecking Crew 98.
Stop it.
You're just talking crazy now, man.
Hey, it was the 30th anniversary of the Mother series, and Nintendo recognized it and gave us Wrecking Crew. Okay.
Man.
Maybe next month. Is that what we say every month, by the way, with the NES games? There's always next month. Maybe next month.
I think at this point we can just say who gives a shit what's coming next month.
Maybe I mean I'll give pause if it is Mother, the original. I'll be like, all right.
I'd give pause if it was a Super NES game.
Everyone would be excited at least depending on again. Wrecking Crew 98's getting localized. That's a Super Nintendo game, a Super Famicom game.
They did Mighty Bomb Jack Special Edition.
That's how you know they can.
That's totally worth my subscription fee.
Oh man,
Bomb Jack.
I wanted to make Wrecking Crew. I wanted Wrecking Crew to become like a meme. Like if anyone ever comes up with a really good idea for Nintendo with their online service, their system or anything, you just say, "That's a great idea. Here's Wrecking Crew." It's like any idea or thought.
They're like, hey, we're gonna try and fix the Joy-Con. Hey, also, bro, Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Here's Wrecking Crew.
When the Switch releases exclusively with Wrecking Crew bundled.
If here's the thing, I think it's gonna be September. If there's no Super Nintendo games in September, I'll be very confused. That's what I'm still holding out for. So we have August, then we have September. So we have one more month before then. So I think next month we get Mother, then we follow up with Super Nintendo games.
Hey, but if we don't, there's always next month.
That's the thing is the reason people have been speculating about this forever, in case people forgot, is the fact that how many months ago now? Has it been almost a year now since that code was slipped in there?
Yeah.
Where there's like a list. There's a list of Super Nintendo games inside of Switches now.
Yeah, that's why we're
Seems like-
waiting.
Someday they're gonna flip that switch, but who knows?
Yeah, like I said, I think when the majority of people who signed up day one and it's time to renew, they go, oh, there's Super Nintendo games now, guys. Well, we'll see. One Up John says, what do you believe is preventing the Switch Mini from being dockable? Could hackers potentially override what is blocking it? I mean, they would have to hack that new chip, the Switch or whatnot, figure out a new way to do it. But if they do figure out a way to do that, that's going to make Nintendo look a little suspect there.
It's happened in the past. I always think about I have my Sega Nomad. I've been playing my Sega Nomad recently, and what's weird about it is that this is technically a Sega Genesis. If you open this up, it's actually got like a full Sega Genesis in here, but it doesn't work with the 32X, and it should. So when people open this up, they discovered that they just undid a wire that would actually make it compatible with the 32X. So if you solder that on, you could put the 32X on top of this thing. And I bet it's probably going to turn out to be the same thing, where somebody actually opens up a Switch Mini and realizes, oh, this thing actually can connect to a TV in some capacity.
Oh, interesting. Okay. We'll see. That would be a very interesting story to cover if it turns out the Switch Lite is dockable. Like, it will actually do video out. But I you know what? When we open it, you'll be able to see if there is hardware in there, because I believe they have control chips for that. So you'll be able to see if it's just outright missing parts that the regular Switch has.
I would imagine it's probably just not going to have those parts to do an HDMI out. Like, there's going to be no signal out within in it, so it's just going to be you can break it open and tinker with it and probably add something to it, but it's not going to be just like, oh, we can hack it. And
like they could probably add that thing, Nate, that lets you record handheld footage, right? Like, they could probably add that if they really wanted to. I don't know if they will, because I don't think that company is around anymore. But
no, that company's gone.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
But like, I think that's possible because they just pull signals off of all kinds of places on the board anyway. But I don't think, if those parts are just missing, then it's not going to put any video out anyway. So Tom S says, all you guys are great, but Nate has some great insights on these live streams, and yet his channel is just gameplay. Come on, man. That's what he said. He said, come on, man.
He's got the mic now.
I do have the mic now, and I do have the occasional discussion video up on the channel. So maybe now with this mic, and once it's not 100 degrees with 85% dew point and 90% humidity.
And you don't got the fan from Silent Hill sitting next to you,
Yeah, and I don't have the fan from Silent Hill. And something interesting happens in the industry, I will make another discussion video with better quality that I'm not walking along the beach with my dog recording.
Yeah, so people might not be caught up here. Nate has recently acquired a Blue Yeti microphone, which seems to be like one of the a microphone that a lot of people choose, like starting out on YouTube or like live streaming and everything.
Baby's
now Nate, I see Max over there holding it up. Sean, by the way, is still using his is that your headset you're using right now, Sean? Your headset for right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. See, Nate, there you go. You're ahead of Sean. Yeah, so it's a good microphone though, Nate, but it'll be much better than your cell phone when you're walking your dog.
Yeah, then I can get to some ASMR videos while I play Animal Crossing and make people feel happy.
What?
That's the future. That's the future direction for 2020. I will have a new channel where I do ASMR and make
we
people
gotta
feel good
start
about
getting the money
themselves.
together to get him one of those dual microphone ear things. That'd be great.
Oh god, dude, that thing is so
I think they're like the 3DO audio. I forget the exact name, but those things are weird, man.
Currently fishing. Doesn't it sound like fish? A glub glub.
Oh,
Exactly. Here's my rod.
Jesus.
I'm going to begin to reel it in slowly. Can you feel the friction? Oh no! It's a little.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
It's got to be someone's ringtone now.
the rails.
It's supposed to be. He's supposed to be fishing in Animal Crossing.
It's drying out a little better.
I think
Put
that's
some water to moisten it.
demonetization.
Weirdos.
Nate, your channel's probably gonna blow up next year.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Something is tugging on my line. Let's reel it in and see what we've caught on my worm.
I can't wait for DFG ASMR. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, so Nate will have some better discussion videos, probably with better sound quality. Because that was the one thing people pointed out in your comments. And
Now you have the Yeti. So yes, you should at least have a good setup there with Audacity and that microphone.
Indeed.
Ziljan says latency with Bluetooth headphones on the Switch would be horrible. Just use Galaxy Buds on Pixel is bad for latency for music, let alone games. I think you can. There's some you can use that are wireless if you plug into one of the USB ports on the side, right? You get those USB headsets. But there's also that PDP controller that came out now or it's out the 22nd, I think, that has the audio jack actually on the controller, but it's wired.
Yeah,
the wired controller. Yeah. It's not a terrible controller though. It's right here. I have it. So it's not a terrible controller, but it is wired. It is wired. Yeah, they sent some over. I'll look at it in a video soon. But it does plug in like on the bottom like an Xbox One controller does, but it's not wireless. So that's the only problem. That's the next step. Wireless Pro Controller Lite controller for the Switch that has a headphone bottom. Shadow says there's a place in SA that started spinning up locations, and the issue you're talking about happens every time. They try to host card tournaments too.
About like fighting and stuff at events.
Card tournaments, I think, work a little better, right, Evan? Because generally those are like hobby stores that do those, and usually people will actually buy cards.
Yeah, a little bit, but they're heavily supported by the companies that make the card games, mostly sometimes. Where I mean, you're not getting someone from Capcom to come down to support your tournament. Like, it's not happening.
They're also not as rowdy. It's a gaming tournament. Most people are kind of talking amongst themselves, and they're really kind of quiet. You walk in there, it's almost like bookstore level because it's not. No one's being loud about it.
One really sweaty guy.
Until that one guy summons all 5 pieces of Exodia and then freaks out.
I knew you were gonna
Oh man. And then John Bellinger says some GameStops are piloting a rental service right now. We were hearing about that a while ago. I wonder if that actually went anywhere.
I feel like they test locally though. Like, we keep hearing about different things from different GameStops. Whole name changes, what they're selling changes. Like, it's just they're really starting to tinker around all over the world.
Different regions that they're testing stuff.
The next one, actually, Shane Rolfe says GameStop started a game renting program here in New York. So there you go. It is out there. I don't know how that would work though. I'm curious if that is one where you pay up front whenever you get a new game, or if it's a subscription service. I thought that's what it was like a subscription service where you basically have one game out at a time and you take them back, basically doing what they were doing for used games, but actually charging you a monthly fee for it. So that's what I thought it was.
Probably.
Which is smarter, because then you're actually getting money from people that are doing that. It makes sense. So Evan, you have a Discord question before we get into the final topic for the podcast with the lawsuit?
We do have a couple of them. This is a movie question for Jordan. What is your prediction for the Criterion Collection Spine number 1000?
Oh, okay. So it's a good one. I can't believe we're going to come up on 1,000 here. The one that they haven't done yet. So they usually 3 years after one of Wes Anderson's films come out, they usually wait 3 years and they put out his film on Criterion. They never put out the Grand Budapest Hotel, which is one of my favorite, and I think that'd be a great one for 1,000. But who knows? Because they've been doing a lot more foreign rather than more in-house stuff from around the States. So who knows? But I would love Grand Budapest Hotel. Love that movie.
Jordan, what are you talking about?
So, well, that's well, to talk about his question, there's a set of Blu-rays that are called Criterions. It's supposed to house the most artistical or greatest in some people's eyes films from all around the world. And they've done it on DVD for a while, and they've had a large Blu-ray section. And I have a good bit of them, and I like the Criterion collection. And it's a good mix of films, and they're going to be at Spine number 1,000 soon. For the Blu-rays and whatnot. So I like literally 99% of everyone watching this has no idea what I'm talking about. For that one guy, for that one person, I hope you got your answer out of this. So
I only know I used to shelve those back at the bookstore. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah. Are you all talking about Criterion movies?
One day I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back just for you. There was a show I ran called Coffee and Criterions, where I drank coffee and talked about Criterions. It was total dud.
What was the show that had the space background?
That was Sci-Fi Quest.
Sci-Fi Quest.
Dude, I still get questions about both those series on my channel. On when we bring Film Wave or Movie Wave, whatever
There
it's
you
gonna
go.
be called, we'll bring it
Movie
back
Wave. What's another Discord question, Evan?
Has anyone heard anything about Streets of Rage, the new one? Anything coming up? Like any just general news?
They just announced something about the original composer of Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 is coming back and doing some arrangements. I actually got to talk to, I can't remember who, but somebody who's working on it at PAX South. It sounds like it's going to be great. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be what it needs to be.
The art style's interesting. I'm okay with the art style. Some people weren't really sure. I think it looks all right.
I'm feeling it more than the Battletoads. So.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Through Double Dragon Neon again this week, and holy crap, do I not like that game. And it definitely it strikes me when you do a bad 2D remake, I feel like it really shows. So I think it's a smart plan to go super different.
What's another Discord question we got, Evan?
Do you think maybe 2K saw how well third-party games are selling on the Switch and might put effort into the new upcoming WWE 2K, just like the NBA games?
we don't even know if it's actually coming to the Switch. One retailer listed it, and it makes people wonder about that, if it could actually happen. Because if you remember, does everyone remember the way that WWE 2K18 launched on the Switch?
Hey,
overnight, randomly?
Come on. It runs better than Vince McMahon runs the company.
Oh, I will disagree with that. That's how bad that game is. You can't do anything above a one-on-one match.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah, look at the current state of WWE. You can't do anything without Brock Lesnar.
Do you remember that game? Do you remember that game leaked before it was even actually announced? Like, somebody had the game before it was actually even announced, and then they announced it. Then it launched on rollback in Walmart. That was so bad. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if 2K20 was on the Switch, and I wouldn't be surprised if they announce it and then launch it like a week later by accident.
They should like change up the style and make it its own type of thing for like the Switch version instead of just being
Day of Reckoning. Make a Day of Reckoning. Okay, you can't call it Day of Reckoning, sure. Make it something like Day of Reckoning, its own wrestling game on the Switch.
I hear that there's a wrestling game coming to the Switch that's going to be talked about this week on a certain video game channel that's going to have a certain pro wrestler who's in this game on the video as well.
Is it?
Oh my God! It's
can't talk that much.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a new wrestling game, you said? Nice. That's cool.
Does it have Tommy Dreamer in it?
Man.
Stevie Nicks or Stevie Richards.
Stevie Nicks.
You know what? You know what? I really hope 2K20 comes to the Switch, and I hope it's absolutely terrible so we can make fun of it again.
I mean, it was a good time making fun of it.
It was so funny. Oh man, it was funny because it was so bad. And after videos came out, I assume no one really bought it, and that's why they were like, "Yeah, no 2K19."
Poor Seth Rollins got stuck with that shitty game.
Yeah, he did the promo for it on the Switch too. Remember?
Yeah, he's like, I love my Switch and I can play WWE wherever I go. And then the game came out and
so bad.
Damn you, Vince McMahon.
That's so bad. Do we have another Discord question, Evan?
Among all of us, I guess, who's planning on doing any side-by-side comparisons with the new upcoming Switch, just to check it for battery length, screen quality, stuff like that?
I'll break it, but I'll rip it apart. I'm sorry. I'm sure Nate will do something, and I guess Max will do something with it too.
A detailed tech test, and then I plan on ending the video by trading my broken GameStop or my broken Switch into GameStop.
Okay. Yeah, I think Nate will probably do something too, right? Nate, you'll probably get it and
I'll probably get it, do some, see if games see any performance gains or not.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting. And like I said, I'm sure Digital Foundry will attack it too to see if it has anything performance wise on it.
Is it just coming with the standard gray Joy-Cons? I haven't seen any like.
They have. I thought they had two models. They have the neon color model, I thought, and then the gray ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as the current.
Mock-ups for both.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's the same as the current Switch SKU. So it's just gray and
gray
neon.
ones being advertised with a completely red box.
Do we have any other Discord questions, Evan, or is that all of them?
That's the last one I'm gonna run. Yeah.
Okay. So Joy-Con controllers. We just talked about them coming with the new Switch revision. There is apparently a class action lawsuit. And this is funny because I didn't think it would get to this point. I'm actually a little surprised. I think a lot of people are actually surprised that it actually came together. They posted what appeared to be a submission form where they're like, hey, you can submit your name and all this stuff. And every time, do you guys notice that on like the Reddit for the Nintendo Switch, anywhere really, forums, anything, if you bring up Joy-Con drift, that thing, they jump to the top of like the pages. Like they get upvoted like crazy and everything. And I feel like that submission form was probably placed in some of these key locations and everybody submitted because the following day they actually filed for it. And that surprised me a little bit that it happened so fast. I do think that law firm was like, oh, cool. And we got a lot of people here. Oh, what's this? GameFAQs, IGN message boards. It was weird. If you read through the filing for it, they do quote all of those forums. What do you guys think about that? Has anyone here had Joy-Con drift that severely? I'm curious.
I haven't had it at all.
I've had minor.
I have my first set of Joy-Cons. I had to get a new set because the left Joy-Con got fucked.
Send mine in once. And
wait a minute.
What happened?
This is new information in the Pro Controller saga.
I needed new Joy-Cons.
you bought $80 pair of Joy-Cons.
Sure, I had an Amazon gift card that I put towards it, so I don't think it cost me.
He likes to play portable mode, man. What can you say? He likes to play portable.
Wait,
exactly.
Don't you have a
dog face controller?
Don't you have a $50 Amazon gift card now?
Well, I had to buy some things. I got like $30 left on it.
He had to buy more Zevia.
And you had to buy some jerky.
Raiden 5 because that comes out next week, and then I actually someone kept telling me about a battery pack. It was really cheap. To see if maybe this will circumvent the need for me even upgrading my Nintendo.
Oh,
Switch
a battery
Pro.
pack. Oh, dude, I have like 6 or 7 battery packs at this point. If you just want one,
I already bought it.
what kind of? Wait, hold on. What kind of battery pack is it? What's the brand on it?
I don't remember. Let me think.
Okay.
Let me see. I think it was a weird brand. It was like a newer one that I had never heard of before. It was called Venom or something.
Interesting.
Venom?
I threw out a conspiracy theory about this whole Switch Joy-Con thing.
Yeah.
I think that this is sort of like the red ring of death in that it's a very widespread problem, but I think that part of it is that a lot of people own a lot of Joy-Cons. They really sort of pushed early on the idea of buying multiple Joy-Con sets. You want the colors, got to catch them all, blah, 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 blah. So I think that 25% are probably experiencing Joy-Con drift, but a lot of people own 2 or 3 sets of them, like myself, which means statistically, almost everybody has encountered this to some capacity. So I think that's why it's just so explosive, is because everybody's experienced it.
That's a good point, actually, is because there are so many out there. It's just like a scatter shot of Joy-Con. Like everybody looks over and they're like, I have like 5 Joy-Con controllers. You know, you're just like, wait, why do I have an uneven amount of Joy-Con controllers?
So,
you know, something like that. But
up until the other month when I bought the Pokemon Let's Go Nintendo Switch, where I got those 2 Joy-Cons, all I had was my original set. I haven't purchased any other, but I think I might with the purple and the orange, because Spyro, Crash, like those colors be cool. But other than that, I've never had any interest for like, oh, I got to spend $80 to get these colors. There's cool ones out there for sure, but I don't know. When it comes to controllers, I just think they're overpriced for any console, not just the Joy-Cons. I never really accessorize unless they go on sale.
That's fair. I'm curious if
That's fair.
I'm curious if anything is going to happen with this. Like, is Nintendo going to say anything about it? Or is it just going to be a quiet settlement? Or is it not even going to go to actual, like, is nothing actually going to happen from it?
Go ahead, Nate.
I expect them to go nowhere with it. I don't think it makes it to court or anything. It's going to be filed, and Nintendo's going to be like, really? And the other lawyers are going to be like, never mind, we're dropping the case.
I call this a clout action lawsuit because the law firm is looking for clout and they're looking for I mean, not that they can't do this, but like funny hearing some of the response, people like, oh, now this is going to force Nintendo to do. It's like, dude, if it needs a lawsuit to force Nintendo to simply look at something that could be happening, nobody should buy games from Nintendo. You shouldn't support this company if it takes a lawsuit. And are they really worried about this company doing this? They're probably already looking at it. But it's manufacturing. You can't just stop what they're doing like on the drop of a dime and all of a sudden fix. So it doesn't take some type of like firm quoting words, quoting IG. I thought that they were gonna like when I heard about it, I was like, okay, maybe they got people coming in, they got demonstrations, they got video, but they're quoting message boards.
Taylor Swift fan 69 has some serious issues.
I know, seriously, booty muncher 207, you know, 6'9" is out here saying my Joy-Cons are drifting. I mean,
why did you just put out my account on blast like that? Come on.
Like, I mean, come on. I mean, look, like I said, I've had an issue too, like, and I want Nintendo to fix it as well. But this is definitely, they're just looking for cloud. They're looking to get their name out there. Oh, wow, we can sue Nintendo. This is not really going to cost us much in terms of how many people are going to actually use us for other things. So hopefully they get it fixed, but I mean, come on.
I did notice there weren't a lot of, when was the last time we had a special set of Joy-Cons released?
I think it was the last one was the yellow ones, right?
I feel like we actually talked about, we complained about it at one point, like, wow, there's a lot of Joy-Con controllers getting released. I thought that was a little odd, and now they are with the ones at the beginning of October. I see Max holding one up there.
It's the October one for last year, right? I think I bought these right as it came out. This was the like sort of Splatoon ones that came out late last year. I think this might be the last ones they released.
Okay, because I know they did the yellow ones as well, because we talked about the yellow ones cycles. I have to look when they came out, but I noticed that, like, I thought they would have been coming out with new Joy-Con controllers like every other month or every 3 months or something. Right. I just feel like it's been a while. So maybe they were working on it. I don't know. I'm not sure. You think that the newer Joy-Cons that you buy with, a system now would have them, but I'll take a look at those Joy-Con controllers, see if the analog sticks are any different. And that Lite is going to be the most interesting thing, because if those Lite analog sticks are the same, that's not going to be fun.
I'm actually surprised they didn't do a special edition like Pokemon set.
I guess, yeah. That was weird.
I guess they still
could.
Yeah.
I guess they still could. That is interesting, though. You're right. Nate, what were you saying before?
I think it's weird that the drift issue has been known, soon after launch, but it took an article from Kotaku last week for everyone to all of a sudden be like, whoa, this is a problem. I've experienced, people have been talking about it for over 2.5 years. Why did it take Kotaku to all of a sudden say something? And then all of a sudden it's like everyone's sitting there like, oh my God, it's an issue. Like we've been talking about this for months. It wasn't like all of a sudden it happened like on July 10th, every Joy-Con in the known world began to drift, and Kotaku was on top of that story.
Dude, that's Switch Reddit, man. It was up every time I would go by there. It was always up there. Like I always saw somebody talking about Joy-Con drift, and I'm like, man, maybe that is a big deal. It's bigger than I thought. And then now Kotaku writes an article, gets like 400,000 views on their article, blows up. It's interesting how that worked. I don't know. Maybe they just hit at the right time. I don't know.
I mean, I know you guys know that I run a gaming store, but like that is one of the biggest things that I have a problem with is when people buy a Switch with me, like almost half of the time they come back with Joy-Con problems. Like I'm not even kidding you. Like it's almost half.
Wow. Okay. I said it. There is a faulty design at play there, so.
Yeah. Or a new one.
What's up?
Used Switch?
Yeah, most of the time it's pre-owned. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. What were you saying, Max?
Test them out and like make sure that's all good before we go in. But I think that it's all about the gunk buildup underneath.
I like to pretend that Kotaku and Polygon are really tiny, but you have to realize that's still sort of mainstream gaming news. That's like the big print websites that everybody still goes to every day. A lot of people get their news exclusively from Kotaku. So I feel like this Joy-Con article possibly was just the spotlight that nobody knew about. I don't think people realized, oh, I have that problem too. So I think it just was finally lit the fire that started this lawsuit.
Yeah, I'm just hoping, like I said, I'm just hoping that Nintendo gets them fixed up. And well, the next Joy-Con release is October 4th, I believe, October 4th. So I guess I'll check them out then, and we'll check it out in the Lite, and then I guess even in the new Switch that comes out, the revision, see if those are any different at all. You know what? GameStop could start selling contact cleaner at the counter for Joy-Con.
Yeah, it's like when Strawberries used to sell.
There we go. We're in. We just saved GameStop right there. Very good. Let me go over some of these super chats before we finish up here. Ibrahim says, donated $25 on Streamlight. Said, great upgrade, looking good. Evan, good job. And then he also says, also, I'm ready to buy a Pro controller for both Sean and Nate. Some people are just ready to end it here, man. They're just ready to finish this up. Well, Sean's sitting on that gift card. He's sitting on some Amazon bucks over there, so. He keeps thinking about it. He sends me messages now and then, and it's like, is it finally time to get this Pro controller?
When I dollars on it, I will bite the bullet.
You better do like a 45-minute unboxing video where you have a summoning circle and you talk about your life and you like give it a bath in baby oil and go.
Oh man, that would be great. Yeah, that would be so funny. We gotta get Nate. Nate needs to get on that Pro controller bandwagon already.
Crazy. How can you not see this? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pro controller and not want it? Bruh, come on.
If there was a native,
if there was a good Fire Emblem,
I was about to say, Nate, if there was a Fire Emblem Pro controller, would they have you then?
Yeah, then they would have me. But you know, they ignored the best RPG on the Switch with Fire Emblem, and they didn't give it an awesome Pro controller, so they don't get my business.
What if there's one released in Japan and it's on PlayAsia for?
Well, then I will contemplate importing.
I don't know why there isn't. There should be a Fire Emblem Pro controller. I hope there. I wish
it could have an awesome logo. It'd be awesome looking, but no, Nintendo's like, yeah, Fire Emblem, you don't deserve a Pro controller. We gave it to Xenoblade.
Deserve the Pro controller.
Big Jeff says, just testing donations on Streamlabs. Still mad with my situation with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I said on OJ stream, but Best Buy lost info on my pre-order. They don't know if it's coming.
That's part about it for him is that he's in a situation to where he can't just buy the game and then whenever they get it situated, he just return it, because now he's just kind of like stuck. He's in limbo. Very unfortunate, for him. So I'm sorry about that, dude.
And Big Jeff said, just so OJ doesn't have to remember, I pre-ordered Marvel on June 2nd. Yesterday, got an email from Best Buy saying I had a delay. Called, found out they lost track info. I can't switch to in-store pickup because they might have sent it already. They said, well, hopefully it shows up then, right? Like soon. Is that what's happening? It was
just an internal issue, probably just like something got jacked up with the order. So it's in limbo right now, so he can't do anything. So he can't go out and buy another one, and he doesn't have his copy, so it's just kind of like, and then he can't play it.
I have Abaddon says, supporting a friend, # get RGT85 Pro. Sean, one day you're just going to be trending on Twitter and just be like, all right, well, I guess that's that. I have to do it.
The day he gets the Pro controller.
Today's the day. Yeah.
That top headline will just be a picture of him going, and one hand holding
it will take one live stream and him just saying Pro Controller, like Pro Controller fun. Just one live stream. That's all it would take.
You would have it funded in
both of you weirdo Gears of War Nate over here and RGT for both one live stream.
I'm gonna turn on the computer and like just glance over at like the news feed, and it's gonna be like yahoo.com. It's gonna be Sean with his Pro controller. It's gonna be like, he finally did it. It's like, why is he on the front page of Yahoo?
All the memes would die. All the memes would die. All the jokes would die.
Hey, sometimes
but then they would create new memes and it would move forward properly.
No, we need this to remain, because then you have Spawn just go on like Twitter and be like, Sean, you got to get the Pro. And then people are like, it's not a fucking Switch Pro, you idiot.
Sometimes Twitter is great.
It's out of control.
So it's worth it for those moments.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Also, you can get all kinds of controllers that look like the Pro, and you just be like, I thought I was ordering the Pro. And then
I did go to Wish. I did look at the Wish app on my phone.
Man.
And I saw this like Ouya looking Switch controller, and they're like, it's only $10. I'm looking, I'm like, what the hell is this piece of crap?
If anyone wants a plan for a YouTube channel, just start unboxing stuff from Wish, and I guarantee you will have an awesome channel. just unbox stuff from Wish. I made a video on one thing I ordered from Wish, and it got over 1 million views.
Wow.
They have some weird stuff. They got like Joy-Cons that are like 5 inches thick.
See, there you go.
Thick Joy-Cons.
Like 2 C's.
Easiest name ever. Just call it the wish list. I mean, you're done. Boom.
Oh,
there
shit.
you go.
Nate's like writing stuff down in the background.
Or the wish risk. It's hard to say.
I'm about to go start ordering stuff on Wish now.
Some of that stuff is crazy what they have for like Switch accessories. And then they mislead you to like Switch for $20. And then you have to like read the whole description, and it would just be like, it's a plug. Like, what?
This sounds fun. Now you got me looking.
Sean's about to go on Wish, start ordering
Sean's
stuff.
gonna
I
drop
feel
like $100 on Wish.
I'm on Wish too.
Next year.
It's gonna make so much content.
And they send you free stuff sometimes. Like, it'll just be like, pay for shipping, and you'll get like a feather for some reason.
Idea, dude. Do a thing where you buy all the weirdest things that say Joy-Con Pro or Switch Pro controller. Buy all the stuff that says that and see what you get. And just like, I unboxed 100 things that said they were a Switch Pro controller, and here's what I got.
See the weird Ouya one.
Oh man, I have that. I did a video.
Okay, I have some good Wish videos coming up. It's nothing to do with what you guys are doing. I'm not doing it with Switch stuff, but I just found a gold.
Dagger crag.
Yes, it's specifically just a bunch of different fake aggro crags for like $10.
Nice.
See,
Tristan.
Wish has everything.
They have everything. All the aggro crags you ever wanted.
Aggro crag.
Tristan, no message, $1. Thanks, Tristan. Von Henry says, any opinion on what the next direct might be? We assume October, September. There's always September direct or something, isn't there?
September, October.
Yeah, it's like somewhere in there usually. I guess that technically is 2 months away. I don't know. I don't really know what else they would talk about for this year since stacked, but maybe they'll do stuff in early. Wait, do we have anything for early 2020 outside Animal Crossing? They always have like that weird January game in there. Maybe they'll throw Pikmin 3 in there. There you go.
Trials of Mana is coming out early 2020. That's the game that everybody needs to go play.
That'll be a good one. That'll be fun. That'll be a good one. We'll see. I mean, we assume there'll be one. We're 2 months, maybe less than 2 months out. So I guess you never know. I'm sure that direct hype will start back up again, and the cycle will continue. Tristan, no message. $. Tristan. Kurt says, hey, Sean, do you think John Moxley might win G1?
I haven't really been following G1, but
when is the G1? When the G1? This is what it says. When the G1 might win the G1. Is John Moxley play wrestling in the G1, and will they win the G1?
Moxley was in the G1, but I don't think he'll win because of his AEW stuff.
Got it. Okay. Pradeep with $1. No message. It looks like that is all the super chats. Yep, cool. Okay, and that's gonna finish up here. Let me go around. Max, where can they find you, man?
I actually want to shout out, I'm going to be doing a special charity stream next weekend. I will not be on the SpawnCast. I'm going to be at QuakeCon in Dallas, Texas. If you're going to QuakeCon, I'm going to tweet up my location several times. So if you've ever wanted to meet me, I actually love talking to people. But additionally, Bethesda approached me to do a special charity stream for a dog place. Basically, computer playing Doom, and they're going to bring puppies on camera, and we're going to try and get all the puppies we can adopted. And if you are not able to adopt a dog, there will be a special donation link to a charity that basically whoever does adopt the dog, it'll get like a bunch of free dog food and stuff to incentivize good homes for good dogs. So just subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is next week.
Well, I'll stop by with some donations for that.
That sounds good.
It's Dallas Pets for Life. It's they're running it along with Bethesda.
This is next weekend.
think my time slot is around noon on Sunday, and they actually even made me a special shirt that is a little puppy inside the Doom Guy armor. Bethesda designed it.
It's Sundays, noon.
Yes. So they told me my time slot, it's going to be about an hour and a half or 2 hours. So I want to try and definitely get at least a couple dogs, like a good home,
Man.
Cool. No, that works. What about you, Rax? Where can they find you, man?
You can find me at all of this awesome, I don't know where. Yeah, there it is. All of that social media right there. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, youtube.com/Rax the Great. There's a link in the chat if you want to come subscribe to my channel. We do a lot of different kind of live streams. Check out some new games when they come out, unboxings, all kinds of different gaming content. So if that sounds like something up your alley, I'd love to have you come hang out with me on my channel.
Cool.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, I saw you live streaming. You're doing some Mario Maker 2 the other night, right?
Dude, I've been doing a lot of Mario Maker 2, and I've been flipping my shit. People have been sending me the most ridiculous levels. And the funniest thing is like they get a crack out of the fact that I refuse to give up, but I'll get extremely frustrated. So I don't know. It's kind of like the whole point on that one.
I'll send you a level if you stream tonight. Should piss you off a little bit.
I would normally stream on Saturdays, but I'm taking it easy tonight. I got work early in the morning. Training a new hire.
What's that?
Nice.
He said, "What's that?"
I don't work.
Yeah, well, fuck you. Maybe if I get enough subscribers, I can fucking stop working too. But
we were so
dream.
close. We were so close getting to the end without the yellow dollar sign.
Sorry, David. Man, I'm sorry.
No, we lost.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
When Nate went to ASMR.
Yeah.
A lot of people make money with that stuff.
Yeah, but you were saying like sliding and you were saying no.
I was describing
how
fish.
Yeah, Animal Crossing, man. It's fishing.
Sure,
I mean,
that's how
come
YouTube
on.
systems will totally understand it.
Listen, Fringe. Just because you don't know how to fish in Animal Crossing, don't take
I
it
don't know
out.
how to fish in real life.
All right then. I know all about keeping the line wet.
Sean, where can they find you, man?
On RGT85, I'll say hi in the chat. Hi. I just uploaded my Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 video earlier today. Make sure you guys go check that out. A lot more details than what I gave you of things that I really like, things that I didn't like, high points, low points of the game. So make sure you guys check that out. I also eat a burrito and sing the X-Men cartoon theme song in it. So yeah, be sure to check it out.
Nice. Anything good planned for the week?
Yeah, I'm obviously gonna do something. Obviously, we completely forgot about Wolfenstein comes out this upcoming week too. So there'll be a Wolfenstein video, Raiden 5 video, a couple other videos, upcoming Switch games for the month of August. It's gonna be a pretty busy week.
Cool. All right, sounds good. What about OJ? Can they find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube here, Player Essence. I do edited videos, and then I also stream pretty much daily on Twitch for at least 3 to every single day. I'll be streaming tomorrow. Check that out. In terms of upcoming content for the week, we got Fire Emblem Week on my channel. Fire Emblem content, and then the debut on Friday will be my Fire Emblem series for different various topics like Let's Plays and various things about Fire Emblem, all dedicated to that. And then also, I'll have a Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 impressions or just like kind of review or whatever the hell it is. Like I'm thinking about, or I'm actually editing that, got all the footage done, just need to edit it. So we'll have that. But yeah, a lot of Fire Emblem stuff, a lot of new series, and a lot of live streaming on my Twitch. I stream on my Twitch channel, Player Essence. So you can just look up Player Essence on Twitch and I stream on there. So follow me on Twitch for my live streams pretty much every day, and also on my YouTube channel for edited videos.
I didn't have anyone in mind for a raid. I don't know if any of you guys have someone in mind. Someone was asking.
I tried to look, but I didn't see anybody worth reading.
Okay.
Kind of a shitty way to put it, but.
What about Nate? Where can they find you, man?
They can find me on Twitter at DirectFeedGames. You can find a link to my YouTube channel and my profile there. Next week, I have some gameplay footage of Rise, Race the Future for Switch, Zombie Driver. You race a car as a zombie.
Any good ecchi games coming up?
No good ecchi games this week. And I also have Solo, Islands of the Heart, which will depress you if you've ever had heartbreak.
Solo, a Star Wars story?
Shut up, Fringe.
Kill la Kill's not edgy?
I had that last week. I had Kill la Kill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you already covered that. He was on that.
Yeah. I was on top of that game.
And if something cool happens, he'll be on it with that Yeti. So we'll see how that works out.
I will jump on something cool with the Yeti and make a discussion video. And if people still want to see some Senran Kagura Peach Ball gameplay footage, you can find it on my channel where I smack a girl's ass with, pinball paddles.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And then Jordan.
You can find me on YouTube, Jordan Fringe. I make a lot of Pokemon content. It's a good for some.
It's great.
You got those old school cards, man. I wish I still had those.
Yeah, I got a lot of crazy stuff I've been doing. I've been trying to do bigger and better things with Pokemon card openings and the Pokemon Explained series. But yeah, I got the full video I did last week. First 3 American sets completed. Not first edition or anything, but still all complete. Pretty minty condition.
Nice. Okay, and then Evan, what about you, man?
You just find me on Twitter. I usually post when I'm doing stuff there, either on Twitch, YouTube, wherever I'm going. I'm gonna have to start posting more about like the artwork I'm putting together since I got to go to Baltimore Comic-Con mid-October, and it's a little bit away, but I got to get a ton of new stuff for it, so I'm trying to get that together.
Cool. Okay, and that'll do it here for the SpawnCast, episode 120. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We had some audio issues. We'll probably work on that a bit more, right, Evan? Just to make sure.
I'm gonna take a look through Discord, see how I can prevent that from happening.
Okay. So we'll work on that a bit more. We just wanted to start up a bit earlier because Hangouts ends on the 1st of August, so we wanted to at least do 1 or 2 episodes before then, so we don't have this as like the first one when all that's going down. We don't have an alternative. So cool. All right, thanks guys. We'll see you next Saturday night.
Peace.